Chapter 3781, Blame It on Fate. Lin Moyu slapped Little Python awake. Time to wake up. Little Python groggily opened its eyes, mumbling, "Master, what happened? Why did I fall asleep?" It was utterly confused, having no idea what had transpired. Lin Moyu replied, "Nothing much. Go find a virtual beast and ask where we are." Though virtual beasts were generally unintelligent, it was possible to find a few with some degree of wisdom enough to figure out their current location. If that didn't work, Lin Moyu would have to rely on the connection between his soul and physical body to determine the direction and navigate accordingly. Little Python nodded and immediately set off in search of a virtual beast. The chaotic mist within this spirit domain was dense, severely limiting the range of undead eye. Lin Moyu could barely see far ahead. He sensed that this spirit domain was ancient and primitive. After entering the crossing calamity boat, time had become distorted. He wasn't sure how long he had spent inside. It might have been only a couple of days for him, but years could have passed outside. Given the boat's speed, even 1 or 2 years would have been enough to traverse several great spirit domains. Following behind Little Python at a distance, Lin Moyu noticed that the undying flame on his left hand was still burning. The sentient material he carried had finally begun to melt slightly. "It's really slow progress," he muttered. This was just the beginning. It would take much more time to fully refine the material and summon an elemental lich. Still, success seemed within reach this time, though he wondered what kind of elemental lich would emerge from this process. Given the quality of the sentient material, it was unlikely to disappoint. Moreover, the material seemed connected to space, raising questions about which great Tao it might replicate. Suddenly, energy fluctuations rippled through the chaotic mist. A battle lasting only 2 or 3 seconds had already ended. Lin Moyu knew what had happened. Little Python had failed to extract information and simply devoured its target. Such behavior was typical among virtual beasts. They often consumed one another as a means of evolution, but this method was cumbersome and rarely chosen unless necessary. Little Python continued searching while Lin Moyu followed leisurely behind. After interrogating several virtual beasts, Little Python finally returned excitedly, "Master, I found out. This is Redstone Great Spirit Domain." Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Isn't that part of the Outsider Alliance's territory? Lin Moyu asked with a frown. Little Python confirmed, "Yes, it is." "Trouble," Lin Moyu muttered grimly. It seems not much time has passed. The crossing calamity boat didn't travel far. He recalled Shi Haifeng mentioning Redstone Great Spirit Domain, a domain controlled by the Outsider Alliance. Of course, the domain was vast, and the Outsider Alliance couldn't occupy every corner of it. Additionally, human forces existed within Redstone Great Spirit Domain as well, and conflicts between them and the Outsider Alliance were ongoing. The main issue lay in the Outsider Alliance's deployment of numerous virtual treasures throughout their territory, each capable of monitoring large areas. If these treasures detected human cultivators, they would immediately issue warnings summoning powerful outsider reinforcements. Worse still, these treasures were well hidden within chaotic mist, making them difficult to locate. Compounding matters, Lin Moyu had no idea whether he was in a human-controlled area or an outsider-controlled one, or which direction to head next, all of which posed significant challenges. Though weaker than humanity in domains like World Tree Great Spirit Domain, the Outsider Alliance had grown resilient under constant suppression, proving they possessed formidable strength. Even the human sovereign hadn't taken direct action against them for reasons unknown. Shi Haifeng speculated that it might be because the Outsider Alliance operated outside World Tree Great Spirit Domain, and figures like the human sovereign couldn't easily enter other emperors' territories without causing conflict. Lin Moyu understood this reasoning. No emperor would welcome another of equal standing trespassing into their domain, let alone engaging in large-scale battles or indiscriminate killing. Redstone Great Spirit Domain belonged to Redstone Emperor, and relations among emperors were far from harmonious. While entering Redstone Great Spirit Domain wasn't ideal, the silver lining was its proximity to World Tree Great Spirit Domain, with only one vacuum zone separating them. Not having a map is such a hassle, Lin Moyu grumbled. Navigating Soul Void without maps made things unnecessarily complicated. If only there were something like World Tree's Spirit Domain compass here, but unfortunately that tool didn't work in this domain. Little Python asked, "Master, which way should we go?" Lin Moyu considered briefly before replying, "Let's find a world first and ask for directions." Wandering aimlessly wasn't an option. Drawing a world-seeking rune, he set it loose to locate the nearest world. The rune floated slowly through the mist, following traces of great Tao energy as its guide. Little Python complained, "Why is it moving so slowly?" Lin Moyu explained, "The great Tao energy here is too dense. The denser and more chaotic the energy, the slower the rune moved, as it needed time to parse through its surroundings." From its sluggish pace it was clear that Redstone Great Spirit Domain's great Tao energy density far exceeded that of Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. Curious, Little Python asked, "Why is there such a big difference between domains? Back in World Tree it was already slower than Golden Furnace, but here it's even worse." Lin Moyu speculated, "Maybe this place is closer to Soul Void's center." While Little Python didn't fully understand, Lin Moyu believed all great Taos originated from a central point, and proximity to this origin likely influenced energy density. Redstone's higher density suggested its closeness to Soul Void's core, whereas Golden Furnace lay farther away. If true, it also meant resources like materials and primordial treasures would be more abundant near Soul Void's center, and so would great Tao beasts. After several days, the world-seeking rune finally approached a world guarded by a Tao Lord stationed outside its barrier. Spotting him from afar, Lin Moyu felt relieved upon recognizing him as human, not an outsider alliance member. The Tao Lord noticed Lin Moyu as well, but remained cautious despite identifying him as human, a testament to his vigilance. Stopping 10,000 kilometers away, Lin Moyu transmitted telepathically, "Greetings, fellow Tao friend." Suddenly the Tao Lord's expression changed drastically as he shouted, "Watch out!" A glowing sword pierced through Lin Moyu's soul before exploding violently, shattering his soul entirely. Even Little Python wasn't spared. From within the void a sinister laugh echoed, "A lone cultivator at great Tao level. Blame it on your fate." An outsider Tao Lord emerged slowly, a sword trailing radiant light returning to his hand. The human Tao Lord guarding the world sighed regretfully, as if lamenting Lin Moyu's demise. But then a cold voice rang out sharply, "What kind of fate do you think I deserve? ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3782, 3782. Chapter 3782, Perhaps It's a Blessing. Lin Moyu's cold voice contrasted sharply with the sneering laughter of the outsider Tao Lord. The souls of Lin Moyu and Little Python, which had seemingly been shattered moments ago, reappeared intact in the void, showing no signs of injury. An illusion, or an afterimage? The outsider Tao Lord's eyes betrayed disbelief. He couldn't accept that his sneak attack had failed. Meanwhile, the human Tao Lord guarding the world shouted loudly, "Be careful. He's a Tao Lord of the Shadow Great Tao. His sword contains divine light Great Tao energy and specializes in ambushes." Relieved to see Lin Moyu unharmed, the human Tao Lord seemed genuinely pleased as he issued his warning. Lin Moyu turned his gaze toward his attacker. "Tell me, what kind of fate do you think I deserve?" Time flowed chaotically around Lin Moyu and Little Python, enveloping them in its distortion. During the moment of the sneak attack, time surrounding Lin Moyu and Little Python had abruptly slowed. The sword light, nearing Lin Moyu, was affected by the time Great Tao slowing down several times over. This allowed Lin Moyu to evade the strike with ease. However, to an outside observer, it appeared as though his soul had been pierced and shattered by the sword light. In reality, what they saw was merely an afterimage created by time distortion. The outsider Tao Lord spoke calmly, "So you managed to dodge, lucky for you. But your luck won't last forever." As he spoke, his figure began to fade into obscurity. Mastering the Shadow Great Tao granted him unparalleled concealment abilities, whether in Soul Void or the real world. Lin Moyu shook his head. "That won't work." With a flick of his finger, world-burning fire erupted outward, exploding into a sea of flames. A scream echoed through the fire as the outsider Tao Lord was forcibly revealed from hiding. Desperately channeling his great Tao energy, he attempted to extinguish the flames, but world-burning fire was not so easily subdued. Until he escaped its grasp, concealment was impossible. Though unlikely to kill him, the flames inflicted excruciating pain, gnawing at his soul like a torment worse than death. Glaring at Lin Moyu with hatred, the outsider Tao Lord suddenly transformed into a streak of light and fled into the distance. Little Python cried out, "Master! He's running away." Lin Moyu nodded calmly. "Let him go, it doesn't matter. He'll be back." He made no effort to pursue, knowing that chasing down a determined Tao Lord would be difficult. Besides, it wasn't necessary. This enemy would undoubtedly return for revenge. As Lin Moyu extinguished the flames and turned toward the human Tao Lord, he said nothing but stared silently. The human Tao Lord seemed slightly embarrassed. Greetings, fellow Tao friend. I am bound to guard this place and cannot leave. I ask for your understanding. Lin Moyu didn't blame him, understanding his predicament. It's fine, you've got your own challenges. Though he claimed not to mind, his tone lacked its initial cordiality. The human Tao Lord smiled bitterly. Indeed, it's not easy here. May I ask how you detected something amiss earlier? Lin Moyu replied, with so many outsider virtual treasures scattered around, it was obvious there'd be someone lurking nearby. But what's your purpose in guarding this place? Looking around, Lin Moyu noticed numerous outsider virtual treasures surrounding this world. It was essentially encircled. Under such circumstances, what was the point of one Tao Lord standing guard outside? The human Tao Lord sighed helplessly. This is our world, it holds billions of lives. Whether it makes sense or not, we have to protect it. Besides, even if the Outsider Alliance wants to kill us, they'll have to pay a price. Lin Moyu understood his reasoning. So your plan is that if their realm masters or Tao Lords invade, you'll detonate your world's origin core and take them down with you. The human Tao Lord looked surprised. You figured that out? Indeed, Lin Moyu had deduced it from observing the formations within this world. While these formations didn't appear particularly advanced, they were interconnected like a network of ticking bombs. If triggered, they would destroy the entire world, obliterating everything within it. This setup wasn't limited to Soul Void, it extended into reality as well. Such a scorched earth tactic offered no benefit to the Outsider Alliance, which is why they hadn't acted recklessly so far. Normally a world wouldn't agree to self-destruction, but somehow this one had been coerced into compliance. Still, that wasn't Lin Moyu's concern, though he couldn't help but respect their resolve. Breaking his silence, Lin Moyu introduced himself. I am Lin Moyu, and you are? The human Tao Lord bowed slightly. I am Wang Yan. Lin Moyu nodded. Tao friend Wang Yan, have you considered alternatives? This approach isn't sustainable. Wang Yan sighed heavily. Of course we've considered alternatives, but it's too difficult. We've heard that in World Tree Great Spirit Domain a human sovereign can crush the Outsider Alliance effortlessly. Lin Moyu explained. That would be the human sovereign, a true body Tao Lord who has entered returning origin land, a peerless powerhouse. Wang Yan's eyes gleamed with envy. If only we had someone like that in our domain. But alas, we don't, and saving ourselves seems impossible. To be honest, we tried once before even forming our world will, but it was shattered and its essence dissipated. Now Lin Moyu understood why this world will had agreed to self-destruction. It bore grudges against its enemies in the Outsider Alliance. Wang Yan continued wistfully, if only the human sovereign could come here. Shaking his head, Lin Moyu replied, the human sovereign likely knows about Redstone Great Spirit Domain, but entering would require Emperor approval, which won't happen. In reality there are no emperors blocking him, but crossing realms between Soul Void and reality makes finding your world nearly impossible even if he wanted to help. Wang Yan grew increasingly despondent. Their situation seemed hopeless under constant threat from the Outsider Alliance. Observing Wang Yan closely, Lin Moyu asked thoughtfully, your world used to be led by its world will, is that correct? Wang Yan nodded affirmatively. Yes, that's right. Their world will had once formed but was shattered and reverted into slumbering essence. Lin Moyu remarked, in some ways that might actually be a blessing for you. Puzzled, Wang Yan asked, how so? It was clear he didn't fully understand what a fully formed world will might do. Explaining briefly about malicious wills, Lin Moyu elaborated further. In World Tree Great Spirit Domain the human sovereign developed a secret method allowing Tao Lords to seize control over worlds, transforming their wills into tools. If you're willing, I can try obtaining this method for you. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3783, 3783. Chapter 3783, Finding Some Help. As Lin Moyu and Wang Yan analyzed the pros and cons, Wang Yan's expression gradually changed, with the light in his eyes growing brighter. For a Tao Lord, this was an enormous temptation. When Tao Lords find themselves at a dead end, they become desperate. Lin Moyu's appearance brought them hope. At this moment, Lin Moyu was Wang Yan's lifeline, not only able to free him from the Outsider Alliance's threat, but also allow him to advance further. Lin Moyu saw desire and intense longing in Wang Yan's expression. Everyone has selfish motives, even the kindest people. It's just that kind people will weigh their options and be willing to sacrifice some of their own interests to help others. But when something benefits oneself without harming others, even the kindest person will prioritize their own interests. If they didn't seize such an opportunity and instead gave it to someone else, that wouldn't be kindness, it would be foolishness. How could Wang Yan possibly do such a foolish thing? At the same time, he understood that Lin Moyu wouldn't help him for nothing. He promised Lin Moyu, "Dao friend Lin, I'll trouble you with this then." If this succeeds, Wang Yan will remember this great kindness. Whatever Dao friend Lin asks, Wang Yan will not refuse. After all, their situation couldn't get any worse. Since that was the case, why not take a gamble? Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Dao friend Wang need not be so polite. Just wait here patiently for my news." Lin Moyu bid farewell to Wang Yan. He didn't approach Wang Yan's world or disturb the virtual treasures placed by the Outsider Alliance. Before he returned, there was no need to alert the Outsider Alliance and cause trouble. He dove into the mist, heading towards World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Though Wang Yan didn't know World Tree Great Spirit Domain's exact location, he knew which way to go to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain. After inquiring several times and sensing the connection to his physical body, Lin Moyu finally determined the direction. Little Python was confused. "Master, why are you helping them?" Lin Moyu joked, "We're all part of the human race. If we can help, we should. Consider it a good deed." Little Python clearly didn't believe this. The Lin Moyu he knew wasn't like that at all. Lin Moyu laughed and said, "Actually, it's simple. I need to find some helpers." Little Python asked curiously, "Will they really help?" Lin Moyu replied, "They'll have to, whether they want or not. I have my ways. And judging by Redstone Great Spirit Domain's situation, they don't have much choice." Lin Moyu wasn't just looking for Wang Yan alone, nor was it just his world. In Redstone Great Spirit Domain, there were quite a few human worlds and even more Dao Lords. But they were all threatened by the Outsider Alliance and weren't doing well. If he could help them out of their predicament and give them a path forward, they would naturally be at his disposal. Moreover, Lin Moyu would set some restrictions. They wouldn't have the option to disobey. Little Python asked, "Master, if you need helpers, why not find them in World Tree Great Spirit Domain? There are so many Dao Lords there. As long as you have soul pearls, they should all be willing to help." Lin Moyu shook his head. "The Dao Lords in World Tree Great Spirit Domain are all the human sovereign's people. The human sovereign has grand ambitions. I don't want to get involved with him. You should have noticed that both World Tree Great Spirit Domain and Redstone Great Spirit Domain are very ancient, and they both have a certain order, unlike Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. I even suspect that the Outsider Alliance might be connected to the human sovereign." Things were too complex. Little Python couldn't understand at all. Lin Moyu didn't explain further. He had his own ideas. When one's strength reaches a certain level, like the green-robed old man or the being inside the crossing calamity boat, they can ignore numbers and dominate with their individual power alone. But Lin Moyu wasn't at that level yet. Even if he could reach it in the future, he needed to take the most important step first. Before that, numbers still mattered, especially external forces. Lin Moyu didn't know how many powerful beings from the previous two eras the Origin Continent's world will had left behind, but there must be quite a few. Moreover, this era also had numerous Dao Lords. The more prepared his side was, the better. He couldn't rely entirely on the third ancestor and others. He needed to make his own preparations. So when Lin Moyu met Wang Yan and learned of his situation, this idea occurred to him. Of course, people like Wang Yan wouldn't be acting in soul void. Lin Moyu needed them to work with him in the real world. Lin Moyu had thought about many things, and a rough plan was gradually taking shape. Suddenly, the time Great Dao flowed, and time in Lin Moyu's area slowed down, becoming 10 times slower than normal. He saw a glowing sword shooting towards him. As it entered the area affected by the time Great Dao, its speed abruptly slowed. Lin Moyu casually avoided it. From the outside, this movement left multiple afterimages, which were then shattered by the sword light, making it appear as if Lin Moyu himself had been torn apart. This situation was exactly the same as before. Activating Undead Eye, he saw a soul flame. This soul flame was shrouded in darkness, with a black Great Dao like a cloak wrapping around the soul flame. It was that outsider Dao Lord from before, launching another sneak attack on Lin Moyu. Unfortunately, he had no idea that Lin Moyu had already left a mark on him, so Lin Moyu knew exactly where he was. Lin Moyu sensed his precise location and locked his gaze on him, with a hint of mockery, wasn't the lesson from last time enough? You're still coming to seek death. A figure slowly emerged from the darkness. This Tao Lord, who controlled the Shadow Great Tao and came from the Outsider Alliance, looked at Lin Moyu with cold eyes. Last time was just carelessness. Today, you will die. Lin Moyu said, actually, I'm very curious. We humans and you outsiders share the same roots. Why must we be enemies? As far as I know, although humans don't acknowledge you, they haven't thought about persecuting you either. The Outsider Tao Lord snorted coldly. What do you know? We outsiders and you humans are sworn enemies. This deep grudge can't be fully explained. Lin Moyu said, you were originally in World Tree Great Spirit Domain, then you left on your own. Moving so many worlds away is no small matter. If the human sovereign hadn't allowed it, how could you have moved away? Just based on this one thing, you owe the human sovereign and the human race. The Outsider Tao Lord suddenly spat. That's why I say you know nothing. Back then, we were able to leave World Tree Great Spirit Domain smoothly, not because the human sovereign was kind-hearted, but because the World Tree Emperor let us go. What do you think the human sovereign is? Would he be so kind as to let us leave? Dream on. Although we outsiders don't have a supreme being like the human sovereign, we are constantly growing stronger. Sooner or later, we will suppress you humans. He spoke as if complaining about the human race's wrongdoings. At this moment, Lin Moyu found him somewhat endearing. At the same time, he was surprised to learn that their smooth departure from World Tree Great Spirit Domain back then was actually with the World Tree Emperor's help. But why would the World Tree Emperor help them? Wasn't the World Tree Emperor closely associated with the human sovereign? The two had worked together on many things, and World Tree Great Spirit Domain's development to its current state was impossible without both of them. But now it seemed that these two might not be completely aligned. Lin Moyu waved his hand and said, forget it, I'm not from World Tree Great Spirit Domain either. This matter doesn't concern me. You can go, I won't kill you. Chapter 3784, 3784. Chapter 3784, Modifying the Formation. Lin Moyu's tone and actions appeared casual, almost indifferent. To the Outsider Tao Lord, however, it felt like Lin Moyu didn't take him seriously at all. The Tao Lord felt humiliated after all. He was a Tao Lord, while Lin Moyu was merely a second-tier soul great Tao cultivator. Shouldn't someone of Lin Moyu's level be groveling before him, begging for mercy? Why did it feel like the roles were reversed, as if Lin Moyu was sparing him instead? Fury surged within the Outsider Tao Lord as he roared, you're courting death. His figure vanished instantly, reappearing in front of Lin Moyu with lightning speed. He unleashed a flurry of sword strikes. The void trembled as millions of light swords materialized from his divine light great Tao-infused blade, shooting toward Lin Moyu from all directions. Unperturbed, Lin Moyu activated his void fusion divine rune. The five elements giant appeared in the void. With a single punch, the giant unleashed terrifying power that shattered every light sword in its path. The Outsider Tao Lord shrieked and merged back into the shadows. Flames erupted as world-burning fire transformed into a raging sea of fire. The Outsider Tao Lord screamed again as he was forced out of hiding by the fire. The five elements giant locked onto him and struck with another punch. Dragging the flames behind him, the Outsider Tao Lord narrowly evaded the attack. The punch landed in the void instead, unleashing devastating force that created countless cracks in space and caused waves of fire to surge violently. The Outsider Tao Lord was sent flying amidst his cries of pain. Still engulfed in flames, he fled once more, leaving behind a long trail of fire in the void. Little Python remarked, Master, he ran away again. Lin Moyu chuckled, he's quite good at running. Curious, Little Python asked, Master, are you deliberately letting him go because you think he's useful? Lin Moyu replied, more or less he's useful for pointing out directions and bringing others along. The direction in which the Outsider Tao Lord fled likely led to the Outsider Alliance's territory. According to Wang Yan, human-controlled small spirit domains within Redstone Great Spirit Domain were almost entirely surrounded by those controlled by the Outsider Alliance. To leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain, one would inevitably pass through areas controlled by the Outsider Alliance. These domains contained layers of worlds whose locations were unknown to Lin Moyu. Wandering aimlessly could lead to trouble. Unlike the crossing Calamity boat, which could charge through recklessly, Lin Moyu had to proceed cautiously. While he wasn't afraid of Tao Lords, encountering powerful realm masters or fully formed world wills would be problematic. Aware of his limitations, Lin Moyu knew he couldn't confront strong realm masters directly. Even against second-rate realm masters like the Hell Master, it would take everything he had to prevail. Thus, he needed an appropriate route, and this overly cautious outsider Dao Lord would provide it. Lin Moyu anticipated that the next attack wouldn't come from just one person. The Dao Lord would surely return with reinforcements which aligned perfectly with his plan. Flying steadily along the escape route, the undying flame on Lin Moyu's left hand continued burning without pause as the sentient material melted slowly. At its current pace, it would take another 10 days or so to fully melt and complete the summoning process. Crossing out of one small spirit domain and through a narrow vacuum zone, Lin Moyu observed Redstone Great Spirit Domain's peculiar structure. Despite being ancient, its small spirit domains were vast while its vacuum zones were relatively small. The proximity between domains was unusual, and their vacuum zones were far more stable compared to those in Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. To Lin Moyu, this phenomenon seemed unnatural. Given how dense and chaotic Great Tao energy was here, it should have caused more intense conflicts, but there was none, as if an invisible force had smoothed things out within these vacuum zones. In Redstone Great Spirit Domain, the only entity capable of such control was Redstone Emperor. After careful observation, Lin Moyu confirmed his suspicion. A powerful yet hidden force existed within these vacuum zones. Moreover, this force appeared to be moving small spirit domains closer together, shrinking the vacuum zones between them. This process had likely been ongoing for countless years, and if it continued for several million more, all small spirit domains within Redstone Great Spirit Domain might eventually merge into one unified domain. While Lin Moyu couldn't determine whether this strategy was beneficial or detrimental, he remained puzzled about why Redstone Emperor pursued such a goal. Reflecting on other emperors' actions, Lin Moyu noted their apparent independence. World Tree Emperor collaborated with Human Sovereign on certain projects. Redstone Emperor focused on merging domains. Golden Furnace Emperor remained secluded in closed-door cultivation, and other emperors likely pursued their own agendas as well. At their level, they don't seem interested in transcendence, but what exactly are they trying to achieve? Lin Moyu murmured thoughtfully, feeling that something larger might be unfolding beyond his current understanding. Several days passed as Lin Moyu traversed two more small spirit domains without encountering further resistance from the outsider Dao Lord. Meanwhile, the undying flame continued melting his sentient material, which was now nearly fully refined. Luck seemed to favor him during this journey, as he avoided any encounters with worlds controlled by the Outsider Alliance. At this rate, crossing two more domains might bring him out of Redstone Great Spirit Domain and into an open vacuum region beyond. Little Python asked, "Master, do you think that guy is too scared to come back?" Maintaining his awareness of the Dao Lord's position, Lin Moyu replied confidently, "Scared? He's a Dao Lord, he's waiting for us just ahead." Little Python responded curiously, "How does he know our route?" Lin Moyu explained, "There are many virtual treasures along this path, they're monitoring us." Though hidden well, all these treasures were visible to Lin Moyu, but he chose not to disturb them. Little Python hadn't noticed these concealed treasures, which interconnected to form a massive surveillance formation covering much of Redstone Great Spirit Domain. This formation wasn't particularly strong, but its vast range and stealth made it effective for monitoring purposes. Even if parts were damaged, the overall system would remain operational, a testament to its design. Having observed its structure closely during his journey, Lin Moyu began formulating plans for modification. Upon sensing the outsider Dao Lord's exact position, he stopped 10 million kilometers away and released numerous divine runes. These runes integrated seamlessly with virtual treasures within the formation, turning it into an extension of Lin Moyu's perception. Through this modified formation, he gained complete control over nearby conditions. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Thanks for the support, Vane. It's greatly appreciated. Asterisk 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 asterisk. ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3785, 3785. Chapter 3785, Everyone Values Their Lives. The formation was under Lin Moyu's control, and he could see everything happening tens of thousands of kilometers away. There were 4 Dao Lords present, no realm masters among them, not particularly formidable. Lin Moyu muttered to himself, only 4 of them. They're quite confident, aren't they? Little Python chuckled, they're doomed. Initially, Lin Moyu had considered taking control of the entire formation. If he controlled the entire formation, he could monitor most of Redstone Great Spirit Domain, making it easy to navigate wherever he wanted. However, doing so would alert the formation's overseers to his presence, potentially attracting an unknown number of powerful enemies. To avoid unnecessary trouble, Lin Moyu decided to control only a portion of the formation and use it to deal with these Dao Lords. By interrogating them, he could extract the information he needed. His earlier brief exchange with the outsider Dao Lord who had ambushed him suggested that communication with this group was possible. Regardless of their attitude, as long as they could talk, it was enough. The 4 Dao Lords had hidden themselves within the same patch of chaotic mist, believing their concealment to be flawless. They weren't far apart from each other. This arrangement worked perfectly for Lin Moyu's plan. A void fusion divine rune flew silently through the chaotic mist, its small size making it difficult to detect. It traveled tens of thousands of kilometers before descending into the mist where the 4 outsider Dao Lords were hiding. The chaotic mist obscured their vision as well, so by the time they noticed the rune, it was already close. What's that? Looks like a human divine rune. Why would a rune fly over here? Where did it come from? Who cares? It's just a tiny rune, what can it do? Shadow, where's that human you mentioned? Why hasn't he shown up yet? Yeah, what if he doesn't come at all? He'll come, he should be here soon. The 4 Dao Lords dismissed the small rune with disdain. At that moment, the rune emitted a faint glow before exploding like a miniature firework. Instantly, the 1,000 Paths and Myriad Images formation descended upon them. The 4 Dao Lords had no time to react and were swallowed by the formation. Within moments, various illusions manifested around them as countless attacks rained down, leaving the Dao Lords disoriented and unsure how to respond. They struggled desperately to break free but found themselves merely transitioning from one illusionary zone to another. The 1,000 Paths and Myriad Images formation contained thousands of illusionary zones interconnected like a labyrinth, making escape impossible. Many Dao Lords had previously experienced firsthand how formidable this formation could be. As they floundered, a spark ignited beneath them, world-burning fire erupted into roaring flames that directly targeted their souls, causing unbearable pain. Lin Moyu's projection appeared before Shadow, the outsider Dao Lord who had ambushed him earlier. Greetings, Senior. Greetings. My foot. Shadow cursed angrily. You little brat, you're playing dirty. Lin Moyu smirked. Weren't you the one who started playing dirty? Shadow roared. I cultivate the Shadow Great Dao, it's natural for me to ambush people. What's your excuse? Lin Moyu shook his head. I like using formations, it's only natural for me to set traps. Enough with the nonsense, do you want to live or not? Shadow initially wanted to retort with bravado, but his courage faltered under Lin Moyu's cold gaze. He couldn't bring himself to say anything defiant. Lin Moyu continued, I'll ask you a few questions. If your answers satisfy me, I'll let you go. Of course I'll verify your answers with the others. If you lie, you'll die. And I won't let you die quickly, you'll burn for tens of thousands of years before I end it. Shadow shuddered at Lin Moyu's words, his soul trembling slightly, but he still tried to maintain some dignity as a Dao Lord. It depends on what you ask, there are things I'd rather die than tell you. Lin Moyu wasn't fooled, he already knew Shadow's character from their previous encounters. This man valued his life above all else. I have 3 questions for you, Lin Moyu began coldly. First, how do I get to World Tree Great Spirit Domain from here? Second, are there any realm masters guarding the way? Third, how can I safely leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain? Think carefully before answering and don't lie or you won't get another chance. Shadow stared at Lin Moyu in disbelief before blurting out, that's it. Lin Moyu snapped, one more word of nonsense and I'll burn you alive. Panicking, Shadow quickly said, all right, I have a spirit domain compass, I'll give it to you. He tossed out a spirit domain compass which flew out of the formation and landed in Lin Moyu's hands. Examining it briefly, Lin Moyu noted its similarities to those used in World Tree Great Spirit Domain but also spotted key differences. World Tree's compasses were based on its namesake tree which spanned the entire domain. Without World Tree the compasses wouldn't function. In contrast, this compass relied on Redstone Great Spirit Domain's surveillance formation for its data. While less precise, it was still usable. Shadow explained, with this compass you'll know where to go. And what about Realm Masters? How can you guarantee there aren't any guarding the way? Lin Moyu pressed further. Realm Masters don't bother with such matters, they have their own agendas, Shadow replied confidently. What agendas? Lin Moyu asked sharply. I don't know, that's their business, not ours, Shadow admitted honestly. We just focus on completing our assignments. And what are your assignments? Lin Moyu demanded. My task is assassinating lone human cultivators within certain small spirit domains to prevent them from escaping, Shadow revealed reluctantly. Other Dao Lords are tasked with hunting great Dao beasts or human Dao Lords in vacuum zones. After questioning Shadow extensively, Lin Moyu turned his attention to the other 3 Dao Lords, asking them similar questions but dividing them among different individuals. Despite their status as Dao Lords, all 4 proved highly self-preserving and ultimately corroborated each other's accounts without discrepancies. By cross-referencing their answers, Lin Moyu confirmed their honesty and gained additional spirit domain compasses, bringing his total to 4. Using these compasses, he charted a route that would allow him to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain within 10 days and enter an open vacuum zone en route to World Tree Great Spirit Domain. As for how to handle these 4 captives, Lin Moyu had promised not to kill them and he intended to keep his word. He quickly constructed a simplified version of his 1,000 Paths and Myriad Images formation. While functional, it was significantly weaker and inherently unstable, destined to collapse after some time. Forcing all 4 Dao Lords to seal their cultivation levels, he threw them into this weakened formation before turning away without hesitation. Little Python asked curiously, Master, you're really not going to kill them? After all, Shadow had ambushed Lin Moyu twice already, and in Little Python's eyes that warranted death. Lin Moyu explained calmly, I can't kill them, not yet. Although they claimed Realm Masters rarely intervene, it isn't absolute. I sensed traces of Realm Master imprints on them earlier. If I kill them, the Realm Masters will undoubtedly come after me. 2 days later, as they continued their journey, Lin Moyu suddenly changed direction with an expression growing increasingly serious. Sensing his unease, Little Python asked nervously, Master, is something wrong? Lin Moyu replied gravely, Redstone Great Spirit Domain feels strange, we need to leave as soon as possible. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3786, 3786. Chapter 3786, Redstone Emperor. Little Python accelerated its pace while Lin Moyu followed the Spirit Domain compass, choosing the shortest route to leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain. His priority was no longer finding the closest path to World Tree Great Spirit Domain, he simply wanted to get away from Redstone Great Spirit Domain as quickly as possible. Initially, entering Redstone Great Spirit Domain didn't feel unusual even after his conversation with Wang Yan. However, upon noticing the gradual convergence of small spirit domains and sensing the power of Redstone Emperor, Lin Moyu began to feel uneasy. At first, this unease wasn't significant, just a faint sense that something was amiss. Looking back now, it was clear that this feeling had been an early warning of danger. It felt as though someone was using a special method to observe him. Lin Moyu suspected that this surveillance came from Redstone Emperor, only such a figure could achieve it. Uncertain whether Redstone Emperor was friend or foe, Lin Moyu decided that leaving was the safest option. If he ever returned, it would be with extreme caution. Little Python flew faster and faster, bringing them closer to the edge of Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Lin Moyu monitored the Spirit Domain compass, calculating their progress. By altering their route, the original 10-day journey had been reduced to 6 days. Having already traveled for over 5 days, they were now less than half a day away from exiting Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Yet, the sense of unease within Lin Moyu grew stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, all unease vanished like receding tides and his soul issued an urgent warning. Danger! Danger! A deafening alarm reverberated within his soul, signaling imminent peril. Stop! Lin Moyu shouted, but it was too late. Boom! Little Python collided with an invisible wall, its massive body sent flying by an overwhelming force. Reacting swiftly, Lin Moyu had already distanced himself before Little Python hit the wall, avoiding harm himself. Looking ahead, He saw a colossal stone. The stone was fiery red like flames with intricate carvings on its surface exuding a terrifying aura. Standing atop the stone was a figure shrouded in red light, its appearance obscured. Yet Lin Moyu felt unmistakably that this figure was watching him. Innate primordial treasure. Redstone Emperor. Lin Moyu instantly recognized the stone as an innate primordial treasure and concluded that its owner must be none other than Redstone Emperor. He sensed space solidifying around him as invisible forces converged from all directions, transforming millions of miles into a cage-like prison. Regardless of Redstone Emperor's intentions, Lin Moyu maintained composure and bowed slightly. Lin Moyu of the human race greets Redstone Emperor. From within the red light emitted by the innate primordial treasure, a raspy voice resembling grinding stones echoed, "What did you see aboard the crossing calamity boat?" Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't expected Redstone Emperor to confront him about the crossing calamity boat. Could it be he's interested in the boat? With doubts swirling in his mind, Lin Moyu replied cautiously, "I saw many Dao Lords and even some Realm Masters aboard." The red light flickered slightly before the raspy voice asked again, "What were they doing?" "They had their intelligence wiped clean and were turned into crew members performing various tasks aboard the boat," Lin Moyu answered truthfully. He chose not to conceal this information, knowing full well who he was dealing with. Deception would only work if executed flawlessly, otherwise, it would be exposed easily. Redstone Emperor fell silent as though lost in thought. The innate primordial treasure continued radiating crimson light, distorting space around it and causing Redstone Emperor's figure to appear warped within its glow. Though humanoid in shape, it was clear this wasn't his true form, it was merely what he wanted Lin Moyu to see. Something about Redstone Emperor seemed off, but Lin Moyu couldn't pinpoint what it was. Using undead eye discreetly for a quick scan, Lin Moyu noticed something startling. Redstone Emperor's soul flame showed signs of damage, and even his innate primordial treasure bore an irregular crack as if struck violently. It became clear to Lin Moyu that Redstone Emperor had attempted to confront the crossing calamity boat but failed, sustaining injuries in the process. Despite being wounded, the fact that he survived such an encounter demonstrated his immense strength. Previously, a Realm Master had been effortlessly killed by the boat, but Redstone Emperor managed to escape with only injuries. Such power meant killing Lin Moyu would be trivial for him. After a moment of silence, Redstone Emperor spoke again. "Aside from those people, what else did you see?" Though his voice remained raspy, it carried a softer tone compared to earlier. Lin Moyu couldn't understand why Redstone Emperor's attitude had shifted, but he answered cautiously. "I didn't see much else, just some murals and a statue. However, I couldn't view the statue's front side. The boat's occupant stopped me, saying I wasn't qualified." Boom! The red light surged upward as Redstone Emperor reacted excitedly. "Someone spoke to you aboard the crossing calamity boat?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Yes, but I didn't see them, I only heard their voice." "What did their voice sound like?" Redstone Emperor pressed urgently. "It was deep and commanding with an indescribable sense of authority, clearly someone accustomed to high status," Lin Moyu replied thoughtfully. Redstone Emperor grew increasingly agitated. "What did they say to you?" Feigning hesitation for effect, Lin Moyu eventually replied, "They asked me to complete a task and return to find them afterward." The crimson light intensified as millions of miles around them transformed into a massive red sphere enveloped by glowing energy. Redstone Emperor's distorted figure reflected his barely contained excitement. "What task did they assign you?" he demanded with strained urgency in his voice. "They made me swear not to tell anyone," Lin Moyu lied smoothly. "They didn't even specify how I'd find them afterward, they said I'd have to figure it out myself." This fabrication blended just enough truth with falsehood, and in his heightened emotional state Redstone Emperor didn't notice any inconsistencies. After another prolonged silence, Redstone Emperor asked, "When will you complete this task?" "I don't know," Lin Moyu admitted honestly. "It's incredibly difficult, it might take thousands or even tens of thousands of years, and if I die along the way it'll never be completed." Indeed, the search for the fourth gem remained uncertain, as treasures like those on Catastrophic Scepter transcended ordinary great Daos and relied entirely on fate. With crimson light shimmering brightly around him, Redstone Emperor's tone softened further. "Dao friend Lin, I have something I'd like your help with here as well. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3787, 3787. Chapter 3787, The Emperor's promise. From the moment Redstone Emperor appeared, his tone was commanding, befitting a superior addressing an inferior. As an emperor in Soul Void, his status was supreme, and such a tone was understandable to Lin Moyu. However, after confirming that Lin Moyu had boarded the crossing calamity boat and returned safely, his tone softened noticeably. When Lin Moyu mentioned hearing a voice aboard the boat, Redstone Emperor's attitude improved, further shifting from condescension to equality. Finally, when Lin Moyu spoke of the possibility of returning to the crossing calamity boat, Redstone Emperor's demeanor underwent a third transformation. This time, he had a request. These three shifts in attitude all stemmed from the existence aboard the crossing calamity boat. Lin Moyu asked, "What does your majesty require?" If fostering a good relationship with Redstone Emperor could benefit his plans, Lin Moyu saw no reason to dwell on the Emperor's initial attitude. Redstone Emperor replied, "If you plan to board the crossing calamity boat again in the future, I ask that you first visit Redstone Great Spirit Domain. At that time, I will explain what I need from you. If you agree to this request, I will grant you a promise to help you with one task of your choosing." A favor in exchange for an emperor's promise. This seemed like a worthwhile deal. Redstone Emperor added, "Rest assured, what I ask of you will be simple and effortless. I would never make things difficult for you." Lowering his demands further emphasized how much he hoped Lin Moyu would agree. Lin Moyu responded cautiously, "But I'm not certain I'll be able to board the crossing calamity boat again. It's not an easy feat, and there's no guarantee of timing." Redstone Emperor reassured him, "Time is not an issue. Even if you never board the boat again, my promise remains valid." Hearing this, Lin Moyu realized refusal wasn't an option. The more earnest Redstone Emperor's request, the more it revealed his desperation. Refusing might provoke him. "Very well," Lin Moyu said. "I accept. Once I've completed my current task, I'll seek your majesty out." The red light surrounding Redstone Emperor pulsed brightly, his mood visibly improving as Lin Moyu agreed. "Thank you, Dao friend," he said warmly. Seizing the moment while Redstone Emperor was in good spirits, Lin Moyu asked, "I have a few questions I'd like to ask your majesty." "Go ahead," Redstone Emperor replied, his attitude shifting once more to one of camaraderie. Lin Moyu began, "If there were a world will at the peak of its formative stage, how would your majesty fare against it?" Redstone Emperor answered confidently, "In terms of pure strength, even an eternal stage world will is no match for me. However, the worlds within spirit domains exist between reality and illusion. As an Emperor of Soul Void, I am bound by its rules. I cannot personally destroy worlds or kill their wills outright. If I were to act, it would be limited to containment without harm. The true strength of world wills lies in reality, a realm beyond my influence." Lin Moyu pressed further, "If such a world will tried to escape, could your majesty stop it?" Redstone Emperor shook his head. "I could delay it briefly, but if it truly wished to leave, I couldn't prevent it." "And what about cultivators like us who enter Soul Void?" Lin Moyu asked. "That's different," Redstone Emperor said bluntly. "You can be killed at will." Lin Moyu now understood that emperors weren't incapable of defeating world wills. Even those at the eternal stage couldn't rival them within Soul Void. However, the rules governing Soul Void prohibited emperors from directly attacking or killing world wills. Violating these rules would result in severe consequences. In essence, the true rulers of Soul Void were its rules themselves. But who had established these rules? Even emperors were subject to them, and they offered no protection for cultivators. Once inside Soul Void, cultivators were as vulnerable as virtual beasts subject to emperors' whims. This realization clarified why Discernment Beast had suggested using emperors to contain, not kill world wills during critical moments. Emperors simply couldn't kill them outright. The rules ensured that worlds could evolve and develop without interference. Blurting out instinctively, Lin Moyu asked, "Who set these rules?" Redstone Emperor shook his head. "That cannot be spoken of. If you ever reach my level, you'll understand. Still, the fact that you boarded the crossing calamity boat and returned safely speaks volumes about your potential." It was clear Redstone Emperor held Lin Moyu in high regard, a sentiment rooted entirely in his connection to the boat. Curious about something else, Lin Moyu asked, "How did your majesty know I entered the crossing calamity boat?" "When I boarded, I hadn't yet entered Redstone Great Spirit Domain." Redstone Emperor chuckled lightly. "I didn't see you board, but I sensed your aura aboard the boat." In truth, Redstone Emperor hadn't been certain until Lin Moyu confirmed it through his response as a subtle manipulation on his part. Well played, Lin Moyu thought silently. With nothing more to discuss, Lin Moyu said, if there's nothing else I'll take my leave and head toward World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Redstone Emperor asked casually, you're not from World Tree Great Spirit Domain, you're going there for its trading market? Yes, Lin Moyu admitted openly. I need some rare materials and hope to find them there. Redstone Emperor's gaze lingered on Lin Moyu's left hand before producing a small innate primordial treasure, a fist-sized piece of material that floated toward him. Though small, it was still valuable, and Lin Moyu knew how rare such treasures were even for emperors. Due to their inability to search virtual illusory realms directly, emperors relied on chance encounters with treasures entering their domains naturally. This treasure is yours, Redstone Emperor said, but added sternly, do not refine soul pearls. Startled Lin Moyu asked, why not? Redstone Emperor shook his head cryptically, some things cannot be spoken of, but soul pearls are toxic, avoid refining or using them. Clearly constrained from revealing more details, Redstone Emperor left it at that. I'll remember your Majesty's warning, Lin Moyu replied respectfully, but couldn't resist asking another question. How did your Majesty know I wasn't from World Tree Great Spirit Domain? Because you lack his mark, Redstone Emperor said enigmatically. That's all I can say for now. It would do more harm than good for you to know too much. In World Tree Great Spirit Domain, avoid provoking the human sovereign or World Tree Emperor and be wary of certain realm masters. Keep a low profile there, buy what you need and leave quickly without lingering. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3788, 3788. Chapter 3788, Getting Annoyed. As the red light dissipated, Redstone Emperor departed, and Little Python flew back from afar. Earlier, it had been forcibly driven away by Redstone Emperor, who didn't allow it to approach. If not for Lin Moyu's presence, a second-tier soul virtual beast like Little Python might have been killed with a single slap by Redstone Emperor. To emperors, virtual beasts were insignificant creatures that could be killed at will. They held no rights or protection. Little Python was clever enough to stay far away when ordered, waiting patiently in the distance. Upon returning, Little Python asked softly, Master, has Redstone Emperor left? Lin Moyu nodded. Do you have any thoughts about him? Little Python shook its head quickly. No thoughts, none at all. Lin Moyu replied, good. Let's stick to the original route and leave Redstone Great Spirit Domain as quickly as possible. He didn't share his conversation with Redstone Emperor with Little Python. It wasn't necessary for it to know. The less it knew, the safer it would be. Little Python understood its limits and refrained from asking further questions despite its curiosity. Reflecting on his exchange with Redstone Emperor, Lin Moyu thought about soul pearls. He felt fortunate that he hadn't refined them earlier, avoiding potential harm. Soul pearls being described as poisonous was clearly an indication of their unusual nature. The trading market established by Human Sovereign and World Tree Emperor involved releasing large quantities of soul pearls, surely with ulterior motives. Half a day later, Lin Moyu and Little Python finally exited Redstone Great Spirit Domain, entering the vast vacuum zone beyond. Both let out a sigh of relief simultaneously. Little Python remarked, we're finally out. I don't know why, but I always felt stifled in Redstone Great Spirit Domain. Lin Moyu chuckled. You actually noticed the pressure? Little Python explained, I don't fully understand, but I could feel something uncomfortable. Lin Moyu clarified, that wasn't just discomfort, it was genuine pressure. Redstone Emperor is merging small spirit domains, creating invisible forces that converge toward the center of the domain. That's what caused your feeling of oppression. Little Python shook its head. I don't know why he's doing that. Lin Moyu teased, want me to send you back to ask him directly? Terrified, Little Python shook its head frantically. No need, I'd rather live longer. Glancing at the undying flame in his left hand, Lin Moyu saw that the sentient material burning within it was finally about to melt completely. Let's move forward a bit, we need space for the upcoming Great Tao Tribulation, he said. Little Python obeyed, flying swiftly away from Redstone Great Spirit Domain. As the sentient material fully melted, it reassembled within the undying flame and soul void began rippling like ocean waves. Lin Moyu smiled knowingly. It really is connected to space. The sentient material had formed a virtual illusory realm resembling an egg-shaped spatial labyrinth, which Lin Moyu had suspected was related to Space Great Tao. Now his theory was confirmed. As spatial distortions intensified, large cracks began appearing and energy from reality surged through them. Tribulation clouds descended suddenly as an invisible force swept across soul void, restoring calm instantly. Thunder roared, and before the elemental lich could fully form, a terrifying power descended, absorbing it into the dimensional rift. This power was irresistible, and Lin Moyu felt insignificant before it, a true manifestation of great Tao strength. A fissure appeared in soul void, and those familiar eyes returned. They glanced at Lin Moyu briefly, their gaze tinged with annoyance. Lin Moyu understood they were irritated by him and warning him simultaneously. Summoning reverse heaven-level elemental liches repeatedly had triggered tribulations over and over, forcing this entity to intervene constantly without rest. Apologizing with a smile, Lin Moyu signaled Little Python to retreat further to ensure safety during what promised to be an unusually intense tribulation. The elemental lich hadn't fully formed before being drawn into the tribulation clouds, which churned violently with lightning snakes and thunderclaps. The entire space flickered with thunderous light as bolts struck relentlessly at the incomplete elemental lich within. Watching nervously, even Lin Moyu couldn't help but worry for its survival. Suddenly, Little Python exclaimed, "Master! Look!" Lin Moyu looked up to see a vague shadow emerging above the tribulation clouds. Though blurry, the shadow became clearer with each lightning strike. It resembled an oversized doll, and Lin Moyu gasped inwardly, "It's the elemental lich, it's using the tribulation to temper itself." Shivering slightly, Little Python muttered, "What kind of monster is this?" Lin Moyu smacked its head lightly. "It's not a monster, it's my summoned lich." Realizing its mistake, Little Python quickly corrected itself. "Not a monster, it's your reverse heaven creation, a lich worthy of you." Under relentless lightning strikes, the elemental lich's shadow projected across space, its massive doll-like form rapidly solidifying. Its semi-real body appeared crystalline, as if containing infinite dimensions within. Far from being destroyed, the lightning seemed to aid its completion. After lightning came fire. The tribulation flames engulfed the elemental lich, transforming its semi-real body into transparent crystal-like perfection. Within this crystalline form, a faint trace of space great Tao emerged, a fundamental difference from Lin Moyu's projected Tao understanding. While Lin Moyu grasped only projections, the elemental lich replicated space great Tao itself, a distinction as vast as heaven and earth. Following fire came annihilation winds, which swept through soul void with destructive force. Sensing danger, Lin Moyu and Little Python retreated even further to avoid harm. Meanwhile, the elemental lich stood unmoved amidst these winds. Closer inspection revealed spatial cracks forming around it, which absorbed these winds entirely before releasing them harmlessly behind it. Witnessing annihilation winds previously during Thunder Dao Person's trials and later in Beast Abyss, Lin Moyu noted how much stronger they were now. As these winds reached their peak, they gradually weakened, and Lin Moyu felt uneasy again. "Retreat further," he urged instinctively. Despite being millions of miles away from the elemental lich, he still sensed danger looming. He suspected annihilation winds weren't the final stage. Moments later, the winds subsided and the third tribulation phase concluded successfully. Suddenly, the sound of water echoed as endless streams emerged from within dark tribulation clouds. The fourth phase began, a water-based tribulation known as soul-corroding water. Recognizing this ominous liquid immediately, Lin Moyu whispered grimly, "Soul-corroding water." Created by combining soul, water, and curse Taos, it was an extremely potent and malicious substance once refined by three powerful cultivators working together. But here it wasn't artificially crafted, it emerged naturally through Tao evolution, making it far deadlier. Seeing this fourth phase unfold, any relief Lin Moyu had felt vanished entirely. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3789, 3789. Chapter 3789, It's You Again. The soul-corroding water descended upon the elemental lich, bypassing the barrier created by the space great Tao. Due to the influence of the soul great Tao, even the space great Tao couldn't block its effects. Can it withstand this? The soul-corroding water was immensely powerful, and Lin Moyu wasn't entirely confident in the elemental lich's ability to endure it. However, he couldn't intervene. The great Tao tribulation had to be faced by the elemental lich alone. The elemental lich continued projecting its actions clearly for Lin Moyu to observe. To Lin Moyu's astonishment, the lich held the soul-corroding water as if it were a toy, cupping it in its small hands and bringing it to its mouth. First, it licked it with its tongue, then took a large sip. Afterward, it laughed joyfully, a laugh that reverberated through Soul Void. Seeing this, Lin Moyu finally relaxed. The elemental lich could drink soul-corroding water without issue. It clearly wasn't afraid of it at all. It's because the treasure material is of such high quality, Lin Moyu realized. If not for the exceptional level of the material used to summon the lich, overcoming this tribulation wouldn't have been so easy. The elemental lich played with the water for a while, occasionally drinking more, appearing completely content. Eventually, the soul-corroding water vanished, leaving the lich looking somewhat disappointed, as if its toy had been taken away. The fifth tribulation didn't appear. The tribulation clouds dispersed and calm returned to Soul Void. The Great Tao tribulation had been successfully overcome. Those ominous eyes slowly closed, but Lin Moyu felt as though they were still watching him as they narrowed before shutting completely. When darkness fell, billions of miles around were engulfed in shadow. Even the Great Tao ceased functioning temporarily. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt a numbing sensation throughout his body and thunderous sounds echoed within his soul. A sharp pain surged from deep within his soul, accompanied by intense paralysis that spread across his entire being. His soul was immobilized, unable to make any movements or even cry out in agony. When his vision finally returned, Lin Moyu remained paralyzed, his body encased in chains of lightning that wrapped tightly around him. Little Python was similarly affected, shrouded in lightning and unable to move. Both wore expressions of discomfort. The pain was evident, but neither could vocalize their suffering. Just then, the newly formed elemental lich flew over, circling Lin Moyu curiously before poking at the lightning surrounding him. When some lightning touched the lich, it showed no reaction whatsoever. Haha, this is fun. The elemental lich laughed gleefully, not bothered by the lightning at all. It even found it amusing. Having just endured a tribulation, the lich's body was incredibly resilient. A mere lightning strike was akin to a tickle for it. Lin Moyu could only watch helplessly, unable to move or respond. This lightning was punishment from those eyes, a clear message that they were displeased with Lin Moyu's repeated disruptions. Great Tao tribulations rarely occurred, but Lin Moyu had triggered several in quick succession, forcing this entity to intervene repeatedly. It had clearly grown resentful and decided to leave this parting gift as a warning before departing. Though frustrated, Lin Moyu couldn't retaliate. The entity hadn't killed him, it merely issued a stern reminder, and he had no recourse against such power. Suddenly, Lin Moyu sensed something approaching from afar. A Great Tao beast. Activating Undead Eye, Lin Moyu observed a soul flame moving rapidly toward him. It belonged to a Great Tao beast heading straight for his location. Strange, it seems to be coming directly for me. Why would it know I'm here? Great Tao beasts are numerous but scattered across vast areas. What's drawing this one toward me? Could something be attracting it? Lin Moyu recalled his first encounter with a Great Tao beast, which occurred when he acquired treasure material to summon an elemental lich. Is the elemental lich attracting Great Tao beasts? He wondered briefly before dismissing the idea. No, it must be the treasure material. Great Tao beasts likely sense the aura of treasure materials, but only within certain ranges due to their distance and distribution across Soul Void. Given how expansive vacuum zones were, it took time for beasts to locate their targets, which explained why encounters were spaced days apart. Perhaps this particular beast was simply closer than others, allowing it to reach him quickly. While immobilized, Lin Moyu pondered ways to test his theory. If he exposed treasure material outside, it might attract more beasts, but he couldn't move anything from storage due to his paralysis. This realization underscored how vast the gap in power between him and that entity truly was. Using faint mental commands, Lin Moyu instructed the elemental lich, "Go deal with that approaching Great Tao beast." The elemental lich glanced at Lin Moyu briefly before focusing on its target, a rapidly advancing beast, and vanished instantly. In an instant it reappeared before the beast and unleashed spatial power that tore open a massive rift in Soul Void. This rift resembled Beast Abyss but contained terrifying spatial forces distinct from those found there. The Great Tao beast was swallowed by the rift, and as it entered, the chaotic spatial forces inside shredded it into pieces. Despite its formidable defenses and unparalleled regenerative abilities, the beast stood no chance against Space Great Tao's destructive power. The beast perished within moments, and as the rift closed, space returned to normal. Reappearing before Lin Moyu, the elemental lich grinned mischievously. "Master, I'm amazing, aren't I?" Though impressed, Lin Moyu couldn't voice his approval due to his paralysis. While killing a Great Tao beast so easily demonstrated its strength, the loss of beast essence left Lin Moyu feeling regretful. After all, the primary goal of hunting such beasts was obtaining their essence, and now there was none left. Still, he couldn't blame the elemental lich, it had simply misunderstood his intentions due to unclear instructions. Using faint mental commands again, Lin Moyu asked, "Tell me about your abilities." Obediently, the elemental lich began explaining its powers enthusiastically. As suspected, it had replicated Space Great Dao itself, not merely its projection form. While slightly weaker than Space Great Dao's true body, it remained significantly stronger than ordinary Dao lords and capable of killing them effortlessly, as evidenced by how easily it dispatched the beast. Its capabilities against Realm Masters remained uncertain, as Realm Masters drew strength from entire worlds, but Lin Moyu suspected fully formed world wills might still surpass it slightly. Most importantly, as an entity born from replicating true Daos, the elemental lich defied natural order, a reverse heaven creation inherently rejected by Daos themselves. Great Dao tribulations existed solely to destroy such beings, but even after surviving them they remained unwelcome within natural order. Any significant actions taken by these entities risked invoking severe consequences. Before Lin Moyu could reflect further, a powerful pressure descended upon them and another rift appeared in space. Those enormous eyes returned once more, but this time they glared furiously at Lin Moyu with an expression that seemed to say, "It's you again." ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3790, 3790. Chapter 3790, Luring Great Dao Beasts. The massive eyes glared at Lin Moyu, filled with frustration, anger, and killing intent. Despite the overwhelming emotions conveyed through its gaze, the unknown entity was bound by certain rules that prevented it from killing Lin Moyu. Its eyes also carried a hint of helplessness. Meanwhile, the elemental lich stared blankly at the pair of enormous eyes. Moments later, a sudden bolt of lightning struck the lich. The lightning appeared abruptly, giving the elemental lich no time to react. A chain of lightning wrapped around its body instantly. Simultaneously, the elemental lich received a message, freezing in place as if stunned. The enormous eyes seemed to grow moist, as though on the verge of crying. Lin Moyu couldn't discern what warning the elemental lich had received. Another bolt of lightning struck him directly. Pain, numbness, and discomfort surged from deep within his soul. Overwhelming sensations flooded him as the eyes punished him without mercy. Though unable to kill Lin Moyu outright, the entity clearly didn't intend to let him off easily. As the first bolt of lightning began dissipating, another one followed immediately, prolonging Lin Moyu's agony. Helpless against this punishment, Lin Moyu could only endure silently, unable even to voice his frustration. After delivering its final strike, the massive eyes seemed satisfied. They closed slowly and disappeared into darkness, taking billions of miles of shadow with them. Struggling to focus his thoughts despite his paralysis, Lin Moyu addressed the elemental lich. "From now on, you'll be called Space Dao Spirit. What did that entity say to you?" The sentient Space Dao Spirit rubbed its eyes and wiped away its tears before replying, "It told me I'm not allowed to kill anyone or it will kill me. Master, it was so scary it terrified me." Despite its formidable abilities, the Space Dao Spirit displayed remarkable sentience, even attempting to act cute in front of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu couldn't respond due to his paralysis, but he imagined how excited Little Mist and others would be if they saw this playful spirit. Although it had survived the Great Dao Tribulation, the Space Dao Spirit remained a reverse heaven-level existence, a being that shouldn't exist in the natural order. Such entities faced numerous restrictions. The stronger they were, the more severe their limitations became. Compared to true Fire Dao Spirit and Sword Dao Spirit, the Space Dao Spirit was far more powerful and thus subject to stricter warnings. Lin Moyu asked, "Do you have any other abilities besides killing?" Space Great Dao wasn't limited to destructive capabilities, it had many other applications. While Space Great Dao hadn't entered returning origin land yet, its influence didn't extend across all of Soul Void. However, with Space Dao Spirit by his side, Lin Moyu could access Space Great Dao directly. If he didn't want to use it himself, the Space Dao Spirit could wield its powers on his behalf. As long as it refrained from killing living beings, the rules wouldn't restrict its actions. Counting on its fingers, the Space Dao Spirit listed its abilities. "If I don't kill anyone, I can seal space, create spatial prisons, teleport 1 billion kilometers at a time up to 10 consecutive times, and even temporarily connect Soul Void with reality." Its capabilities were extraordinary. Though slightly weaker than those of true body Dao Lords, it was still incredibly powerful. Most of Space Great Dao's abilities were available for use, making it an invaluable asset. Lin Moyu reflected on how best to utilize these abilities while recovering from his paralysis. Eventually the lingering effects of lightning dissipated and Lin Moyu regained full mobility. He felt a sense of relief as though his soul had grown stronger after enduring the punishment. Little Python also seemed rejuvenated, its soul slightly enhanced as well. Contemplating this outcome, Lin Moyu realized that while the entity overseeing order could punish him, it adhered strictly to fairness. Just as surviving tribulations allowed reverse heaven entities like Space Tao Spirit to persist, enduring punishment brought benefits in return. Taking out the treasure material gifted by Redstone Emperor, Lin Moyu struck it with his catastrophic scepter, splitting it in half. However, he decided not to summon another elemental lich immediately, opting instead to wait for some time before doing so. He reasoned that summoning another spirit too soon might provoke that entity further. Turning to Space Tao Spirit, Lin Moyu instructed, "Take us 1 billion kilometers in that direction." Obeying cheerfully, the spirit waved its tiny hands and spatial energy enveloped Lin Moyu and Little Python before teleporting them instantly. They reappeared amidst spatial distortions 1 billion kilometers away in Soul Void. Space Tao Spirit beamed proudly, "Master, I'm amazing." Indeed, 1 billion kilometer teleportation was impressive, but Lin Moyu quickly assigned another task: turn that area into a spatial prison. The spirit complied immediately and the designated space solidified into a prison-like structure. Testing its capabilities further, Lin Moyu found that its spatial prison surpassed his own divine ability in strength and complexity. Satisfied with its performance, Lin Moyu summoned True Fire Tao Spirit and Sword Tao Spirit, letting all three spirits play together amidst Soul Void's emptiness. Their laughter brought some liveliness to an otherwise desolate environment. Next, Lin Moyu took out 3 different treasure materials all at once and placed them on Little Python's back for display as they floated leisurely through Soul Void. His intent was clear: to attract great Tao beasts toward them for testing purposes. 2 days later, a soul flame appeared in their line of sight. A great Tao beast approached rapidly. Smiling faintly, Lin Moyu muttered, "It works." Releasing a void fusion divine rune, silently it transformed into 5 elements giant, wielding Sword Tao Spirit as a weapon. Previous tests had shown that using Sword Tao Spirit as a blade didn't violate any rules. 5 elements giant charged toward the approaching beast and battle ensued swiftly. Great Tao beasts varied widely in strength, from those comparable to ordinary Tao lords to those rivaling realm masters. This particular beast was slightly stronger than a typical Tao lord, but not overwhelmingly so, and 5 elements giant proved more than capable of handling it. Watching this unfold confirmed Lin Moyu's hypothesis: treasure materials indeed attracted great Tao beasts. With this method he could continuously lure beasts toward him and harvest their essence for various uses. As sword light illuminated Soul Void, the beast unleashed chaotic energy waves, but Lin Moyu pondered curiously. Why haven't other cultivators used this method? He doubted such an approach hadn't been discovered over countless years, but wondered if there were hidden risks he wasn't yet aware of. ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3791. 3791. Chapter 3791, Trembling, True Spirit Suppression. Years spent in Soul Void had deepened Lin Moyu's understanding of the Great Tao and the rules governing the universe. While most believed that the Great Tao dictated all the laws of existence, Lin Moyu had come to a different realization. Beyond the Great Tao, there were hidden rules independent of the Great Tao that operated in secrecy to uphold the order of heaven and earth. This confirmed the saying: if something unusual happens, there must be a reason. Every anomaly had a source and could be traced back to its cause. As Lin Moyu successfully used innate primordial treasure material to attract great Tao beasts, he began noticing certain issues. In World Tree Great Spirit Domain, countless human cultivators formed teams to hunt great Tao beasts. While searching for beasts, they inevitably encountered virtual illusory realms and obtained innate primordial treasure materials. Given their intelligence, it seemed impossible that none of them had discovered how these materials could attract great Tao beasts. Yet, they didn't use this method. Why? Could it be fear of attracting overly powerful beasts? But World Tree Great Spirit Domain had plenty of strong cultivators and even the human sovereign himself who surely valued such treasures. After all, even discernment beast desired these materials. Although Lin Moyu verified his hypothesis, he couldn't understand why others hadn't adopted this approach. Why is that? He wondered aloud. Despite his doubts, he couldn't abandon this method. It was too effective for collecting beast essence, which he desperately needed. The five elements giant gradually subdued a great Dao beast, its sword light creating wounds faster than the beast could heal. With no escape from Lin Moyu's formation, the beast's fate was sealed. This particular beast was stronger than the ones Lin Moyu had encountered previously, making it a slower kill. After a battle lasting over 10 minutes, the beast succumbed, its soul dissipating and leaving behind a single essence orb. Lin Moyu collected the essence orb, repaired the damaged formation on his five elements giant, and resumed his leisurely flight awaiting the next beast's arrival. Within a month, a steady stream of great Dao beasts followed the scent of treasure material, all meeting their end at the hands of five elements giant. By then, Lin Moyu had accumulated 12 essence orbs, a harvest that might take a hunting team thousands of years to achieve, but he had done so in mere weeks. The efficiency of this method was undeniable, but 12 orbs weren't enough for Lin Moyu, he wanted more. A month passed without incident, prompting Lin Moyu to wonder if his concerns were unfounded. Could it be that after all these years not even Dao lords or realm masters, including the human sovereign, discovered this method? Such odds seem incredibly low but not impossible. Suddenly, Little Python shivered, and Lin Moyu asked, "What's wrong?" Little Python shook its head. "I don't know, it suddenly feels cold." Cold? In Soul Void's chaotic collision of forces which maintained equilibrium, it wasn't truly cold. Even if surrounded by ice, Little Python wouldn't feel cold. Yet it shivered again moments later and said, "Master, it's happening again." "What's happening?" Lin Moyu frowned, realizing something was amiss. "It's just a feeling," Little Python explained. "Like before a sudden chill." "Not physical cold?" Lin Moyu asked. Little Python thought briefly before replying, "No, it feels like it's coming from deep within my soul." As Little Python continued trembling, the frequency increased and it reported feeling colder by the moment. Lin Moyu activated Undead Eye but found nothing unusual in their surroundings. However, Little Python's reactions were genuine, not imagined. Stopping their flight, Little Python remained still while Lin Moyu heightened his vigilance. The shivering intensified and soon a thin layer of ice formed on Little Python's body. Though small, the ice was real and Lin Moyu touched it cautiously. He felt no trace of great Dao energy within the ice and realized it hadn't come from external forces, it originated from Little Python's soul itself. In other words, Little Python was freezing itself due to deep-seated fear. The trembling worsened and more ice emerged, encasing most of Little Python's body. All sensations of cold stemmed from its soul, a self-generated reaction caused by intense terror. At its core, the fear came from an oppressive force unique to virtual beasts, a suppression rooted in their true spirit. This force didn't affect Lin Moyu directly, but Little Python felt its full weight instinctively. Without knowing what was causing its fear, it could only react helplessly. Within moments, Little Python's soul froze almost entirely, suffering severe damage. If this unknown entity fully descended, it would freeze completely and perish instantly. Acting quickly, Lin Moyu enveloped Little Python in a protective spirit flower and stored it in his spatial space, which isolated external forces and offered safety. He knew Little Python wasn't the target the entity was after him, but its presence had collateral effects on Little Python. Standing alone in Soul Void, Lin Moyu summoned Sword Dao Spirit, True Fire Dao Spirit, and Space Dao Spirit, all perched on his shoulders as they awaited what was to come. Sensing Lin Moyu's shift in mood, the three spirits stopped playing and grew serious. Suddenly the brilliance of heaven dimmed as an invisible force suppressed all activity within Soul Void. Great Dao energy slowed and transformed into thin threads converging toward a single point. A pitch black hole appeared in space, drawing all Great Dao energy into itself. An archaic beast, Lin Moyu muttered instinctively. Archaic beasts naturally attracted Great Dao energy and could harness chaotic forces with ease. But this black hole wasn't merely attracting, it was forcibly pulling energy inward, a far more domineering display. Lin Moyu recalled encountering similar creatures in smaller worlds, including archaic beast kings. Many phenomena he'd witnessed across larger worlds, including Origin Continent, had parallels in smaller worlds where he first gained experience. It dawned on him that his birthplace, a small world, had been deliberately arranged to familiarize him with challenges he'd face later in life. As he pondered this, a massive head emerged from the black hole. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3792, 3792. Chapter 3792, The Great Dao Beast King. An archaic beast king. Lin Moyu's suspicion was confirmed. The entity emerging was indeed a Great Dao Beast King. To be precise, it was a Great Dao Archaic Beast King. The small world where Lin Moyu had been raised seemed like a carefully orchestrated rehearsal introducing him to the actors he would face on the grand stage of reality. While the difference between a great Tao beast and a great Tao beast king might seem minor, in truth, it was vast, like comparing heaven and earth. Recalling his past experiences, Lin Moyu remembered encountering so-called archaic beasts in the small world. Back then, his teacher could barely contend with ordinary archaic beasts but had no choice but to avoid archaic beast kings entirely. Fully aware of the danger, Lin Moyu didn't dare underestimate this opponent. He immediately released 2 void fusion divine runes. The Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation descended directly onto the great Tao beast king's head, attempting to engulf it within the formation. The formation intercepted surrounding great Tao energy, redirecting it to fuel countless illusionary zones within the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation. Meanwhile, Little Python controlled the 5 elements giant in Soul Void, with Sword Tao spirit transforming into a massive sword. At this moment, the great Tao beast king's body had only partially emerged from the black hole, it hadn't fully descended yet. Despite this advantage, the formation's attacks proved ineffective. The Beast King emitted a faint glow that absorbed all incoming Great Tao energy without taking any damage. Roar! A deafening roar erupted from the Beast King, shattering space and creating countless cracks that spread outward for millions of miles. Lin Moyu's expression darkened as he quickly retrieved several treasure materials. The next moment, a massive force struck him, sending him flying tens of thousands of miles away. Vitality surged through Lin Moyu's body, healing his injured soul. Even a single roar from the Beast King inflicted severe damage on his soul, a testament to its overwhelming power. The black hole expanded further as the Beast King accelerated its descent. The Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation failed entirely, it couldn't stop or even slow down the Beast King's arrival. Lin Moyu activated World Burning Fire, unleashing a sea of flames within the formation to surround the Beast King. However, the Beast King remained unaffected, its faint glow continued to shield it from harm. Even World Burning Fire, which had proven unstoppable against countless foes, was rendered useless. The 5 elements giant charged into battle, wielding Sword Tao Spirit as its weapon, and swung directly at the Beast King's head. Boom! The clash produced an explosive sound that tore more cracks into space. The 5 elements giant was sent flying by the impact. The sheer force broke through part of the formation, leaving a gaping hole in its structure. This single strike demonstrated power comparable to detonating a Great Tao itself. Sword Tao Spirit manifesting as a blade embodying Sword Great Tao was akin to wielding the essence of the Sword Great Tao itself. Yet even such an attack left only a shallow wound on the Beast King's head, a wound that began healing almost instantly. Lin Moyu was stunned. The Beast King's defense was beyond comprehension. Despite being struck by an attack equivalent to Sword Great Tao's true body, it sustained only minor damage that healed rapidly. This strike enraged the Beast King further as its massive body continued emerging from the black hole. Its colossal form rivaled that of a small world and wasn't much smaller than the 5 elements giant itself. Suddenly, a black streak slashed through space, a gigantic tail whipped toward the 5 elements giant with lightning speed. Lin Moyu could barely register its movement, it left only an afterimage in its wake. Activating prison formation, Lin Moyu deployed dozens of virtual treasures that emitted fine threads, forming a protective shield-like barrier. The tail struck this barrier instantly, shattering it before continuing unabated, hitting the 5 elements giant directly. Boom! Numerous formations collapsed under the impact. The 5 elements giant was severed at its waist, with its lower half completely destroyed while its upper half barely held together. In just one blow the 5 elements giant was nearly obliterated, a stark reminder of how powerful this Beast King truly was. As its tail lashed out again, Little Python cried out in panic while controlling what remained of the giant, swinging Sword Tao Spirit defensively. Clang! The collision sent both entities flying. The tail recoiled slightly but quickly returned to normal with only a minor wound that healed almost immediately. Lin Moyu's face turned grim as he swiftly recalled what remained of the 5 elements giant into his Void Fusion Divine Rune. Any further damage would render it irreparable and even harm Little Python in turn. Sword Tao Spirit returned to Lin Moyu's shoulder and exclaimed, "Master, that thing is too tough, I can't cut through it." Lin Moyu nodded solemnly, "It's incredibly tough." The Beast King's tail continued thrashing violently, destroying what remained of the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation within moments. As most of its body emerged fully into Soul Void, it roared once more and an oppressive aura descended upon everything nearby. Great Tao energy from millions of miles around converged toward it, becoming part of its strength, which continued growing exponentially. Realizing he stood no chance against such an opponent, Lin Moyu whispered urgently to Space Dao Spirit, "Teleport us there." Obeying instantly, the spirit warped space around them and they disappeared just as two beams of light shot from the Beast King's eyes. These beams pierced through Lin Moyu's afterimage, which dissolved like foam moments later. Had he delayed even by 0.1 seconds, the beams would have annihilated him completely. Frustrated by losing its target, the Beast King roared repeatedly, its cries shaking soul void and creating countless spatial fractures. Unable to contain its rage, it chose another direction and vanished into streaks of light. 10 billion kilometers away, Lin Moyu reappeared but didn't stop there, instructing Space Dao Spirit to teleport multiple times until they had moved 10 times consecutively. Finally stopping after covering 10 billion kilometers, Lin Moyu assessed their situation grimly. This battle had cost him dearly. The Five Elements giant was heavily damaged, prison formation was nearly destroyed, and Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation was completely obliterated. Muttering bitterly, Lin Moyu reflected, how can such creatures exist under heaven's rules? If this is merely a great Dao Beast King, what about their ruler, the archaic Beast Emperor? Based on what he'd seen in smaller worlds, all archaic beasts served under one supreme ruler, the archaic Beast Emperor. If great Dao Beast Kings were already this powerful, how much stronger would their emperor be? Lin Moyu speculated that these emperors might rival figures like Wood Slaughter Realm Master or even surpass them. Perhaps they were eternal level beings or even comparable to world wills at their peak stages, or true body Dao lords at their strongest. But if they're so strong, why don't they emerge? Is something preventing them? But then again, they did emerge this time. It seems Soul Void holds countless secrets yet to be uncovered. Shaking off unnecessary thoughts, Lin Moyu focused on immediate priorities. I'll worry about these mysteries later. For now I need to deal with Origin Continent's world will. Releasing Little Python from storage, he found it mostly recovered thanks to healing spirit flowers. Still shaken by recent events, it asked nervously, "Master, what just happened? I felt like I almost died." Smiling faintly, Lin Moyu pointed ahead, "Let's keep moving. ko-fi.com/translate-toki, only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3793, 3793. Chapter 3793, same route, same source. While traveling, Lin Moyu briefly explained the recent events to Little Python. Little Python murmured, "A great Dao Beast King. I didn't know such creatures existed." Lin Moyu asked, "When you encountered great Dao beasts before, did you feel anything unusual?" Little Python thought carefully for a moment before replying hesitantly, "Not really. Nothing special." "Think harder," Lin Moyu urged. He suspected there must be some connection between great Dao beasts and virtual beasts, otherwise, Little Python wouldn't have reacted the way it did earlier. The trembling from its true spirit and self-induced freezing couldn't have occurred without reason. After pondering for a while, Little Python said uncertainly, "When I saw the great Dao beast, it felt similar to encountering other virtual beasts, like there was a sense of familiarity. But at the same time, I felt some dislike, and even excitement. This feeling is very complicated, I can't explain it clearly." Little Python's expression turned pained as it struggled to articulate its thoughts. "Same route, same source." Lin Moyu mused aloud, voicing a possible explanation. Great Dao beasts typically appeared in vacuum zones, while virtual beasts resided within spirit domains. The two rarely crossed paths. Yet Little Python's sense of familiarity suggested they shared a common origin. Why this was the case remained unclear. Lin Moyu's understanding hadn't reached the level needed to uncover such truths. Guiding Little Python toward their next destination, Lin Moyu began repairing the Five Elements giant and prison formation. He also started reconstructing the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation. With Little Python's ability to detect threats in advance, Lin Moyu didn't worry about encountering another great Dao Beast King. If one approached, Little Python would likely freeze solid before it even arrived. Lin Moyu refrained from using treasure materials again. He now understood why Dao Lords avoided using them to attract great Dao beasts. The risk wasn't limited to ordinary beasts. Treasure materials could also draw great Dao Beast Kings. Without the ability to teleport within Soul Void, a sudden appearance by a Beast King would spell certain death for most cultivators. Even with his 3 elemental liches at full strength, Lin Moyu doubted he could handle such an opponent effectively. A month later, the Five Elements giant was fully repaired and Lin Moyu completed the reconstruction of the Thousand Paths and Myriad Images formation. Compared to repairing the giant, the formation was much easier to rebuild, allowing Lin Moyu to multitask while creating divine runes and setting up arrays. Little Python asked nervously, "Master, where are we going now?" Lin Moyu replied, "First we'll locate World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Then we'll explore its surroundings and hunt for more great Dao beasts." Still shaken by their previous encounter, Little Python hesitated. "We're hunting again." Lin Moyu chuckled, "Are you scared?" Quickly shaking its head, Little Python insisted, "Not scared, not scared, it's just that finding great Dao beasts without using treasure materials will be difficult." Lin Moyu reassured it, "Don't worry, I have other methods. While less efficient than using treasure materials, they'll still work well enough." The vacuum zones surrounding World Tree Great Spirit Domain were vast, extending infinitely in all directions. As long as they avoided the area controlled by human sovereign, the remaining regions offered plenty of opportunities. According to Lin Moyu's plan, they would spend decades hunting before returning to World Tree Great Spirit Domain. At that point he would pretend to have finished refining pills and sell his stock of virtual soul pills, then use the proceeds along with beast essence and materials to prepare for his next steps. Years passed as Lin Moyu carried out his plan, and meanwhile the origin continent continued its gradual recovery. Every century the restrictions on cultivators eased slightly, allowing stronger individuals into the continent. 4 centuries after the Great Upheaval, 5-tier soul cultivators at Great Dao level were finally permitted entry into Origin Continent. These cultivators represented the backbone of external forces operating in Soul Void, and now they began strengthening their positions within Origin Continent. Despite their newfound freedom, these forces behaved cautiously, haunted by memories of Lin Moyu's previous actions. No one dared cause trouble, even those harboring resentment against Lin Moyu chose not to act immediately. They planned instead to wait until Origin Continent fully recovered and their sects, ancestors, could descend to confront him directly. Antares, the Dragon Crown Prince, opened his eyes and gazed toward the horizon where heavenly forces gathered around protective fortresses. Over centuries many fortresses had been restored, with several nearing completion. Antares knew that once the upheaval ended and Lin Moyu's destiny concluded, a great battle would inevitably erupt. In Soul Void countless factions wished for Lin Moyu's demise. Scanning Origin Continent, Antares observed streams of luck rising skyward. External forces had established strongholds across Central Continent primarily to harvest Origin Continent's luck during its restoration process. Simultaneously, local factions outside Central Continent consolidated their own luck amidst this revival. Under Lin Moyu's rules, the external forces refrained from antagonizing native sects, but tensions simmered beneath the surface. Glancing down at Lin Moyu meditating silently for over a century, Antares muttered, "What are you up to?" The 3 ancestors left without explanation. "Is this part of your plan? What have you discovered? Why does everything feel so strange?" "Never mind for now, I'll protect this place until your destiny is fulfilled." As Antares pondered these mysteries, a shadowy figure appeared nearby and his expression shifted sharply. It was Lin Mohan, Lin Moyu's sister, and her sudden arrival caught Antares completely off guard. "You're here?" Antares asked cautiously. Recognizing her immediately, he knew she was close to Lin Moyu but rarely interacted with others directly. "I came to check on him and deliver something to you," Lin Mohan replied calmly. "What is it?" Antares asked curiously. Activating an array disk to isolate them from outside interference, Lin Mohan revealed a black and white dragon pearl resting in her palm. Antares' aura surged as he stared at the pearl in disbelief. "What kind of dragon pearl is this?" Unlike his own dragon pearls, the one in Lin Mohan's hand radiated an entirely different energy. "This pearl isn't from this world," she explained. "Keep it safe, it will be useful in the future." Accepting the pearl reluctantly, Antares asked quietly, "Why are you giving me this?" "It was entrusted to me by someone else, it's not important who," she replied cryptically. "I'm leaving soon and entrusting little use care to you." "Where are you going? Should I tell him when he wakes up?" Antares offered, but she shook her head firmly. "In time you'll face a battle that determines life and death. I'm preparing for that. There are many things you don't yet understand, but when he returns you'll hear them directly from him." Nodding solemnly, Antares promised. "Understood, you can count on me." "Thank you," Lin Mohan said softly before fading away into nothingness. Her mysterious departure left Antares uneasy as he realized something monumental was about to unfold. ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3794, 3794. Chapter 3794, The origins of great Tao beasts. In the vast expanse of Soul Void, Lin Moyu sat leisurely atop Little Python's head, sipping tea. In the distance, the outline of World Tree Great Spirit Domain was faintly visible. Little Python flew swiftly, and at their current pace, they would reach their destination within a day. For decades, Lin Moyu had wandered the vacuum zones near World Tree Great Spirit Domain, hunting great Tao beasts and exploring virtual illusory realms. Unlike other Tao lords, Lin Moyu could deploy skeletal generals to conduct carpet searches across regions, making his efficiency far superior to that of typical hunting teams. On average, he found one great Tao beast every 3 to 5 years, a slower method compared to using innate primordial treasure materials but significantly safer. By comparison, hunting teams of Tao lords often spent centuries locating a single beast. Lin Moyu's speed was already remarkable. Over time, he encountered more than 20 great Tao beasts, most of which were slain, though a few managed to escape. The strength of these beasts varied greatly. Weaker ones were easily dispatched within a day or two. Stronger ones could rival the 5 elements giant in combat even when wielding sword Tao spirit as a weapon, making them difficult to kill. Moreover, these beasts possessed considerable intelligence, fleeing rapidly when the battle turned against them, often too fast to pursue. Through years of encounters with great Tao beasts, Lin Moyu studied their nature extensively. After witnessing a great Tao beast king firsthand, he realized that these creatures didn't originate from Soul Void. The Beast King had opened a passageway into Soul Void before descending, indicating that their origins lay elsewhere. This raised questions about how the beasts he hunted entered Soul Void and where their true world might be located. Lin Moyu speculated that great Tao beasts inhabited their own unique world, one he had yet to discover. Those entering Soul Void represented only a tiny fraction of their population. When these beasts died, they left behind essence orbs containing a unique energy capable of rapidly strengthening worlds. The stronger the beast, the more potent its essence orb and the greater its benefit to worlds in need of growth. Over more than a decade, Lin Moyu studied this energy closely and concluded that it was the essence of yin-yang origin energy. Upon reaching this conclusion, he felt a sudden clarity as his findings aligned perfectly with his prior knowledge. Yin-yang origin energy could evolve great Taos, transforming barren worlds into vibrant ecosystems teeming with life. However, the process was slow, requiring immense time for accumulation and gradual development. World evolution relied on absorbing and utilizing yin-yang origin energy. The energy within essence orbs was essentially purified and concentrated yin-yang origin energy. This concentrated form allowed worlds to absorb it, quickly accelerating their growth exponentially. From this realization, it became clear that great Tao beasts must inhabit a realm rich in yin-yang origin energy. Lin Moyu immediately thought of Origin Ancestral Land, a place he had visited briefly upon entering it for the first time. That region was filled with origin spiritual veins and endless reserves of yin-yang origin energy. It also birthed countless origin creatures which Lin Moyu had slain to acquire his own yin-yang origin energy. However, Lin Moyu knew he had only glimpsed the surface of that space. If deeper within lay the world of great Tao beasts, it wouldn't be surprising. This hypothesis brought greater clarity to Lin Moyu's understanding of the universe. He theorized that the real world and Soul Void represented opposing aspects of yin and yang, with Origin Ancestral Land situated between them. From this central point, all great Taos emerged, radiating outward into both realms. Simultaneously, yin-yang origin energy illuminated both realms, merging with and evolving great Taos. In the real world, it nurtured independent worlds capable of sustaining life. In Soul Void, it revealed the shadowy aspects of those same worlds. Together, the real world carried physical bodies while Soul Void housed souls, creating complete worlds through yin-yang fusion. If great Taos and yin-yang origin energy could permeate both realms, it stood to reason that gaps or fissures might exist between them. Great Tao beasts likely traversed these gaps to enter both realms. This explained why such beasts appeared in Soul Void and suggested they might also exist in the real world. However, as Lin Moyu remained confined to Origin Continent, he couldn't explore beyond it and thus hadn't encountered any great Tao beasts in the real world yet. The universe operated under strict order, and even great Tao beasts adhered to these rules, avoiding certain areas entirely. Just as they remained within specific zones in Soul Void, they likely resided within distinct regions in the real world too. Lin Moyu recalled hearing about a place called Wilderness from Yang Ancestral Dragon, a location where such beasts might roam freely after entering reality. It resembled desolate lands he had visited in smaller worlds, regions seemingly designated for archaic beasts. Based on events following Yang Ancestral Dragon's return, it seemed that entering reality caused changes in these beasts. Specifically, they gained physical bodies instead of remaining purely spiritual entities. This transformation granted them attributes unique to reality, including curses and poisons absent from Soul Void. Over decades spent hunting great Tao beasts, Lin Moyu pondered fundamental questions about existence itself. By unraveling such mysteries, he hoped not only to understand heaven and earth but also to refine his own thousand worlds by applying lessons learned. Re-entering World Tree Great Spirit Domain, Lin Moyu noticed its distinct atmosphere filled with human presence everywhere. Here the influence of small spirit domain kings and Soul Void was minimal at best. Human sovereigns' dominance had effectively turned even parts of Soul Void into human territory. World Tree Emperor seemed indifferent despite being nominal ruler over this domain and allowed human sovereign free reign. This unusual dynamic suggested mutual benefits between them, including their collaboration on projects like Soul Pearl distribution. Redstone Emperor's warning about Soul Pearls being poisonous lingered in Lin Moyu's mind as he approached the trading market once more. "Senior, do you need a guide?" someone asked politely upon his arrival. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3795, 3795. Chapter 3795, The News. As soon as Lin Moyu entered the trading market's vicinity, Chin Chin approached him. Decades had passed, but Chin Chin was still working as a guide. With the constant influx of human Dao-level cultivators, her business remained steady. Although it didn't make her wealthy, it provided a consistent livelihood. She instinctively greeted him before recognizing who he was. Upon realizing it was Lin Moyu, she beamed and said, "Ah, it's you, Senior. It's been years. How have you been?" For cultivators, decades felt like the blink of an eye. Lin Moyu smiled and asked, "How's business these days?" Chin Chin replied, "Thank you for asking, Senior. It's the same as always. Has Senior brought something special to sell this time?" Lin Moyu chuckled lightly. "Indeed, I have some valuable items this time." Understanding his implication, Chin Chin asked eagerly, "Which trading market will you be selling them in?" Lin Moyu glanced at the sky and pointed toward the 8th trading market. "The 8th? Chin Chin gasped in surprise. "I didn't realize Senior had advanced to the 8th trading market. It's truly impressive." Lin Moyu said modestly, "You'll get there someday too." Chin Chin thanked him for his kind words but added cautiously, "I've heard the trading markets haven't been very peaceful lately, especially those above the 7th level. Senior should be careful." Curious, Lin Moyu asked, "What's been happening?" Chin Chin explained, "A great Tao Beast King appeared in the vacuum zone outside World Tree Great Spirit Domain. It killed numerous Tao Lords. Apparently, someone used treasure materials to lure it out. Now several realm masters are searching for the Beast King and they've issued a bounty to find whoever caused this mess. They say that person will be held accountable." Lin Moyu was momentarily stunned. "Can realm masters defeat a great Tao Beast King?" he asked. "They can," Chin Chin replied confidently. "There have been instances of great Tao Beast Kings appearing before and they were eventually slain by realm masters working together." Lin Moyu pressed further, "Did they know who lured it out?" Chin Chin shook her head. "Not yet. They haven't pinpointed where the Beast King first appeared. However, several time Tao Lords are collaborating to conduct a thorough search using time reversal techniques. It's only a matter of time before they find out." Lin Moyu asked another question. "Why has the Beast King's appearance disrupted the trading markets?" Chin Chin explained, "The Beast King killed many Tao Lords, so finding it has become urgent. But since vacuum zones are vast and there aren't enough Tao Lords available, the task requires help from great Tao cultivators as well. However, the Beast King is extremely dangerous. Many Tao Lords and great Tao cultivators are reluctant to participate. In response, the Realm Masters decided that all 3rd tier innate soul great Tao cultivators and above must take part in the search, rotating every 10 years. Since this decision came from all the Realm Masters collectively, no one can defy it except perhaps Human Sovereign himself. Over time, more Tao Lords and great Tao cultivators have perished, causing prices for magical treasures and materials to skyrocket, which has thrown the trading markets into chaos. That said, the disruption mainly affects markets above the 7th level. Markets below that remain relatively stable." Chin Chin provided a detailed explanation, offering her own analysis along the way. Lin Moyu couldn't help but acknowledge her insight. As a gesture of appreciation, he transferred 10 soul pearls to her through his identity token. Startled by such generosity, Chin Chin exclaimed, "Senior, that's far too much." Lin Moyu shook his head. It's not too much in my world. Information is valuable and your news is worth this price. Grateful for his kindness, Chin Chin bowed deeply and said warmly, "Thank you, Senior, I won't refuse your generosity." Lin Moyu nodded and dismissed her politely. "You may return to your business now." Chin Chin departed with a bright smile, her mood as radiant as her expression after earning 10 soul pearls from just a few words. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu frowned thoughtfully. "It seems they'll soon discover I'm responsible for luring out the great Dao Beast King and they'll blame me for all those dead Dao Lords. I need to act quickly, complete my transactions and acquire what I need." But selling 153rd refined virtual soul pills isn't a small undertaking. It'll be difficult to offload them all at once. Especially now with market prices in disarray, even those who originally intended to buy might hesitate. It would be ideal if someone could purchase all my pills in one go, but how do I find such a buyer? After pondering briefly, a name came to mind and Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. Wood Slaughter Realm Master. Wood Slaughter Realm Master resided in South Leaf Small Spirit Domain, but whether he was currently there remained uncertain. He might have joined the search for the great Dao Beast King, but someone like him would likely leave behind an avatar even if he had. Deciding on his next course of action, Lin Moyu left the trading market. Whether or not Wood Slaughter Realm Master would buy his pills, it was worth trying. If successful, it would save significant time and effort. If not, he could always return to the trading market afterward and perhaps gain valuable information from Wood Slaughter Realm Master in the process. Using his spirit domain compass, Lin Moyu located South Leaf Small Spirit Domain and set off at full speed. Little Python asked curiously, "Master, why not return to erase your traces using time Great Dao?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "That would be futile, a self-deceiving move. If done poorly, it might expose me directly." Reflecting on recent encounters with numerous Dao Lords in vacuum zones, it became clear they were searching for traces of the Beast King. The interests tied to that Beast King must be significant, Lin Moyu mused aloud. Though tempted by the idea of erasing time traces, he dismissed it due to logistical challenges and potential risks. Instead, he chose to gamble on time Dao Lords taking longer than expected to locate him. Little Python flew with all its might, and within 2 days they reached South Leaf Small Spirit Domain and approached Wood Slaughter Realm Master's territory. From afar, Lin Moyu called out respectfully, "Senior Wood Slaughter, I've come to visit." The void trembled as an invisible force swept through space and Wood Slaughter Realm Master appeared amidst swirling winds. Simultaneously, the world will of Wood Slaughter Realm manifested as a towering tree with leaves swaying in chilling gusts that exuded an aura of deathly stillness. Relieved by his presence, Lin Moyu bowed politely, "Greetings, Senior Wood Slaughter." Wood Slaughter Realm Master smiled faintly, "It seems you've come earlier than expected. Is there something you need?" Lin Moyu explained his purpose directly. For decades I've focused on alchemy and recently refined a batch of top-quality Great Dao Soul refining pills. I initially planned to sell them at the trading market, but thought you might be interested first. If Senior wishes, I'd gladly sell them all to you, but if not, I'll proceed with my original plan. Intrigued, the Realm Master's eyes gleamed as he asked eagerly, "How many pills do you have? And how effective are they?" ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3796, 3796. Chapter 3796, A Sudden Premonition. Seeing Wood Slaughter Realm Master's reaction, Lin Moyu knew there was hope. It seemed the Realm Master's demand for virtual soul pills was higher than Lin Moyu had anticipated. Lin Moyu realized that these pills might hold extraordinary significance for Wood Slaughter Realm Master. Taking out a third refined virtual soul pill, Lin Moyu explained, "I used a special technique to fuse 100 Great Dao Soul refining pills into a single pill, enhancing its potency far beyond 100-fold. But words can only go so far. Why not try it for yourself?" With that, Lin Moyu handed the pill to Wood Slaughter Realm Master. The Realm Master immediately recognized the pill's extraordinary nature, its immense power, and the presence of something he needed. "Very well," he said. "I won't stand on ceremony. If this pill satisfies me, I'll compensate you accordingly." He then opened his mouth and absorbed the pill in one breath. As the medicinal power erupted within him, it surged through every corner of his soul. The world will of Wood Slaughter Realm descended, its branches shielding the Realm Master while it vigilantly watched Lin Moyu. The world will, acting as a loyal guardian, stood firm in its protection of its master. Lin Moyu couldn't help but admire human sovereign's secret method, which transformed world wills into tools and subordinates a truly remarkable feat. This method resolved the inherent conflict between cultivators and world wills, rendering their nature irrelevant since they were reduced to mere instruments. Moments later, Wood Slaughter Realm Master had refined most of the pill's power and spoke slowly. "You were right, this pill's effects exceed 100-fold. Lin Moyu asked, "How much do you think it's worth?" After a brief moment of thought, the Realm Master replied, "If priced by the trading markets system, it should be around 30,000 soul pearls." This estimate aligned closely with Lin Moyu's expectations. Wood Slaughter Realm Master clearly had deep knowledge of the market. "But," he continued, "this pill has additional uses for me. I'm willing to offer 40,000 soul pearls per pill. How many do you have?" Lin Moyu replied, "I refined 150 pills in total. I used one myself, and you've just taken another, leaving 148 remaining." Wood Slaughter Realm Master said decisively, "If possible, I'll take them all." Delighted by this development, Lin Moyu was about to agree and suggest completing the transaction at the trading market when he suddenly felt an ominous premonition. A vague sense of unease warned him against going to the trading market. It seemed something bad might happen there. Lin Moyu had always trusted his instincts. Such premonitions from his soul were rarely wrong. Noticing Lin Moyu's hesitation, Wood Slaughter Realm Master said, "If there are no objections, we can complete the transaction at the trading market." Lin Moyu responded, "The trading market takes a cut from both sides and I also need to make purchases there, which means losing another percentage to fees. Altogether, I'd lose 20% of the total value. While you may be accustomed to this, I find it hard to accept." This reasoning was perfectly valid. Lin Moyu wasn't from World Tree Great Spirit Domain after all. At 40,000 soul pearls per pill, the total value of 150 pills reached 6 million soul pearls. However, if traded through conventional means, Lin Moyu would only receive 5,400,000 soul pearls after fees. Using those soul pearls to buy materials would incur another 54,000 in fees, leaving him with less than 5 million worth of goods despite starting with 6 million. Wood Slaughter Realm Master asked, "What do you propose instead?" Lin Moyu replied, "What I want is simple, rare Great Dao materials. The higher their grade and rarer their attributes, the better. Perhaps you could help by purchasing such materials at Trading Market 9 on my behalf, and we could exchange them directly for these pills." The Realm Master considered this and said, "This method would indeed save you many soul pearls, but are you sure you trust me? This isn't a small transaction." Lin Moyu smiled, "Since I suggested this method, it means I trust you. Besides, I believe this won't be our last transaction." Wood Slaughter Realm Master's eyes gleamed with approval. He seemed impressed by Lin Moyu and looked forward to future dealings. "Very well," he said. "Wait here, I'll make a trip to the trading market." With that, the Realm Master disappeared, heading directly toward Trading Market 9. Given his speed, the entire process, including buying and returning, would take no more than a day. Little Python whispered nervously, "Master, do you think they've found out already?" Lin Moyu shook his head, "I just had a sudden feeling it's safer not to go myself. Better safe than sorry." Originally planning to select materials personally, Lin Moyu understood that treasure materials wouldn't appear in trading markets anyway. At best, they'd find Dao Lord level materials priced according to their rarity and attributes. Since that was the case, it made no difference whether he chose them himself or let Wood Slaughter Realm Master handle it, and delegating avoided unnecessary risks. If it became known that Lin Moyu had lured out the Great Dao Beast King, and if he were still at the trading market when discovered, it would be impossible to escape unscathed. Neither Dao Lords nor Realm Masters in World Tree Great Spirit Domain would let him go under such circumstances. Trusting his premonition, Lin Moyu decided not to gamble with fate. After meditating quietly in Soul Void for half a day, he opened his eyes as Wood Slaughter Realm Master returned. The Realm Master's speed was impressive, but it also made Lin Moyu wary. Escaping pursuit by someone like him wouldn't be easy. Fortunately, with Space Dao Spirit by his side, escape wasn't entirely out of reach either. As Wood Slaughter Realm Master approached within 100 miles, Lin Moyu noticed something unusual in his gaze. His heart sank slightly. He knows. However, the Realm Master showed no hostility, which kept Lin Moyu calm as he waited cautiously. Producing an array disk, the Realm Master activated it, creating an isolated space that sealed off all external influences, including Great Dao energy. Recognizing this as an effort to ensure privacy rather than harm, Lin Moyu remained composed and summoned Space Dao Spirit onto his shoulder as an extra precaution. Cut the space, he commanded softly, and Space Tao Spirit cheerfully complied, slicing through dimensions to sever their connection with Soul Void entirely. Combined with the array disk, their isolation was absolute. Observing Space Tao Spirit curiously, the Realm Master remarked, "Your methods are quite intriguing." He could sense immense power emanating from Space Tao Spirit and knew this little creature wasn't to be trifled with. Lin Moyu smiled faintly. "You've figured it out, haven't you?" Wood Slaughter Realm Master chuckled. "What you've done truly earns my admiration." Surprised by this response, Lin Moyu clarified cautiously, "I didn't know treasure materials would attract a great Tao Beast King. It was an unintentional mistake." Shaking his head, the Realm Master replied warmly, "You misunderstand. I'm impressed that you managed to escape from a great Tao Beast King alive. That alone is worthy of respect." ko-fi.com/translate-toki only. Donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3797, 3797. Chapter 3797, The Overbearing Human Sovereign. Lin Moyu could sense that Wood Slaughter Realm Master was sincere. Although the Realm Master knew Lin Moyu had lured the great Tao Beast King, he harbored no intention of killing him or claiming the bounty. Lin Moyu sighed lightly. "The great Tao Beast King is indeed incredibly powerful. I had to use every trick I had just to escape." Wood Slaughter Realm Master replied, "That's impressive enough. Over the years, more than 100 Tao Lords have died at the hands of this Beast King. None of them managed to escape, which proves that you're far stronger than they were." Lin Moyu asked cautiously, "Are you sure you don't plan to turn me in? The bounty reward is quite tempting." The Realm Master chuckled. "The bounty was something we Realm Masters agreed upon collectively. Honestly, we never expected to find the culprit, and this isn't the first time something like this has happened. It's not a big deal." Lin Moyu inquired further, "What about the Tao Lords who died?" Wood Slaughter Realm Master laughed softly. "Don't you think this was just their fate? For cultivators, events like this are trials that test their resilience." Lin Moyu frowned slightly but didn't respond. He had considered this perspective before, but as someone who defied fate through cultivation, he was reluctant to accept that everything was predestined. Seeing Lin Moyu's hesitation, the Realm Master elaborated, "You're right, cultivators walk a path that defies fate and destiny. But fate does exist. Once someone achieves great Tao level, they can live forever provided they avoid accidents. But accidents are inevitable even for those who remain secluded in cultivation. While seclusion may delay their arrival, it cannot prevent them entirely. Those accidents are what we call tribulations." This explanation resonated with Lin Moyu's own thoughts. Walking an anti-fate path inevitably led to tribulations. Whether one could overcome them was another matter entirely. Different worlds and cultivation systems offered varying interpretations of these principles, but all paths ultimately converged toward unity. Wood Slaughter Realm Master continued, "So those Tao Lords who perished, they simply failed their tribulations. Their deaths weren't your fault. The bounty is just a formality to provide closure for other Tao Lords. What we Realm Masters truly care about is the great Tao Beast King itself." Lin Moyu couldn't help but admire how well crafted this justification was. It absolved him of guilt while shifting focus onto the Beast King. The Realm Master smiled suddenly and added, "Actually, the appearance of a great Tao Beast King isn't necessarily a bad thing for us. The essence it leaves behind is far superior to that of ordinary great Tao beasts. It's something we Realm Masters covet deeply." Lin Moyu asked curiously, "If that's the case, why don't you work together to lure it out with treasure materials?" Wood Slaughter Realm Master shook his head. "We do, but only once every 10,000 years and under strict orders. Great Tao Beast Kings vary in strength and they don't appear alone. If multiple strong ones show up simultaneously, it becomes problematic for us. Over the years, many Realm Masters have died fighting them. Moreover, even if we kill them, their essence doesn't belong to us, it goes to Human Sovereign," he added with a sigh. Lin Moyu frowned deeply. "Human Sovereign?" Wood Slaughter Realm Master confirmed, "Indeed, the essence of every Beast King belongs to him. But he has limitations. He won't act directly. Human Sovereign didn't intervene personally, instead tasking Realm Masters with luring out Beast Kings every 10,000 years while claiming their essence for himself." Lin Moyu felt the sheer arrogance of Human Sovereign's actions. It was utterly unreasonable. But at such a high level of existence, overbearing behavior seemed inevitable. Decisions were made selfishly without regard for others. At this point, Wood Slaughter Realm Master took out a collection of materials, all top-tier Tao Lord grade items with rare attributes. Lin Moyu's eyes lit up upon seeing them. Several pieces were things his thousand worlds lacked. These materials would significantly enhance his world's great Daos. The Realm Master explained, there are 16 pieces of top-tier great Dao materials here. He didn't mention how many soul pearls he spent, but Lin Moyu knew these items weren't cheap. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu handed over all 148 remaining virtual soul pills in exchange for the materials. Clearly pleased, the Realm Master said warmly, these pills are incredibly useful for me, the more the better. If you refine more in the future, feel free to approach me again. Lin Moyu smiled wryly and replied, after this incident I'm afraid I won't be able to enter World Tree Great Spirit Domain again. After some thought, the Realm Master handed Lin Moyu a black leaf and explained. This is called Black Kill Leaf, a treasure refined from my origin core. It contains killing great Dao in my aura. If you carry it, it will cloak you in killing great Dao, masking your appearance while emitting my aura. This way others will assume you're one of my subordinates and generally won't trouble you. Accepting the leaf gratefully, Lin Moyu remarked, this leaf must have other functions too, right? The Realm Master nodded. Of course, it can also be activated offensively, delivering an attack equivalent to my full power, but it's single use. Once activated, the leaf will crumble. Black Kill Leaf was essentially a one-time use treasure capable of unleashing top-tier power, a rare and valuable item. Thanking him sincerely, Lin Moyu said, if I refine more pills I'll definitely seek you out again. For now I'll take my leave. The Realm Master wished him well. Safe travels, Lin friend. Activating Black Kill Leaf, Lin Moyu followed his spirit domain compass and flew toward the edge of World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Shrouded in killing great Dao and exuding would slaughter Realm Master's aura, no one dared bother him along the way. Within World Tree Great Spirit Domain, would slaughter Realm Master wasn't known for being reasonable. After Lin Moyu departed, the Realm Master convened several other Realm Masters. Distributing 30 virtual soul pills among 8 colleagues, he kept 70 for himself. He explained, these pills are top quality, they're hundreds of times more effective than previous versions. Use them wisely, they'll help clear soul pearl imprints over time. With 2 more rounds we can completely erase those imprints and finally achieve true freedom. Despite sharing some pills, the Realm Master reserved 40 as backup while calculating that 30 would suffice for clearing his own imprint. Self-interest prevailed even among Realm Masters. One colleague asked quietly, why didn't you keep him here to refine more pills for us? The Realm Master replied mockingly, he escaped from a great Dao Beast King, you think you could hold him? Another colleague exclaimed in shock, he lured out that Beast King. Silence fell over the group. The fact that Lin Moyu survived such an encounter highlighted his extraordinary ability to preserve his life. Only Wood Slaughter Realm Master fully understood Lin Moyu's capabilities, including Space Dao Spirit's terrifying control over formations. Even within his own array, it manipulated space effortlessly, a feat beyond ordinary Dao Lords. ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3798, 3798. Chapter 3798, The Emperor in Beast Abyss. Traversing through small spirit domains, Lin Moyu and Little Python approached the edge of World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Little Python remarked, Master, this leaf feels unusual. Lin Moyu chuckled, it's just a tracking feature. But he should know I can block it if needed. Don't worry, since he gave it to us, we'll use it openly. Once we leave the domain, we'll deal with it. At least for now, it makes things more convenient within the domain. Little Python nodded. What about after we leave? Are we heading back to Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain? Lin Moyu replied, yes, it's about time to return. I also need to visit some places along the way. This journey of over a century had been fruitful, expanding Lin Moyu's horizons and yielding significant gains. He had collected 25 essence orbs from great Dao beasts but hadn't encountered any virtual illusory realms in recent decades. His stock of innate primordial treasure materials remained at 3 pieces, one of which was gifted by Redstone Emperor. This scarcity underscored how rare such treasures were, far harder to obtain than essence orbs. Even Discernment Beast coveted these materials, making Lin Moyu's acquisition of 3 pieces a rare achievement. Upon reaching the edge of World Tree Great Spirit Domain, Lin Moyu found himself at Beast Abyss, a vast, enigmatic region encircling the domain. Beast Abyss moved unpredictably, its pace varied, making precise navigation challenging. Little Python muttered, last time we saw Human Sovereign near Beast Abyss. I wonder if he's still there. Lin Moyu smiled faintly. Who knows? For now, he's nowhere in sight. Choosing a direction, they decided to bypass Beast Abyss entirely. While its range was vast, it posed no danger as long as they didn't venture too close. Suddenly, the void trembled, and angry roars echoed from within Beast Abyss as if something was trying to break free. Little Python shivered. What is that sound? It's terrifying. Lin Moyu shook his head. Probably some entity within Beast Abyss. Beast Abyss served as a passage between Soul Void and the real world, facilitating reincarnation for countless beings. Inside Beast Abyss, virtual beasts queued orderly for reincarnation, a phenomenon Lin Moyu had observed before. However, he knew his observations likely represented only the surface of Beast Abyss. Its true nature was far more complex, and powerful entities within were not uncommon. The roars grew louder, and Beast Abyss shook violently as an overwhelming aura erupted like a volcanic explosion. Terrified, Little Python retreated quickly, opting for a longer route to ensure safety. Silence. A commanding voice rang out, and above Beast Abyss, a massive tree appeared. The tree loomed over Beast Abyss, its presence suppressing everything as tranquility returned instantly. Lin Moyu squinted slightly and murmured, "World Tree." Even without seeing its true form, the pervasive aura of World Tree was unmistakable. Where World Tree appeared, World Tree Emperor was sure to follow. Amidst World Tree's glowing branches, a vague silhouette emerged, shrouded in hazy light that obscured its features. For several seconds, Beast Abyss remained silent under World Tree's suppression, but soon resumed, trembling violently as furious cries echoed from within. "Let me out!" World Tree Emperor's voice responded calmly yet authoritatively, "The real world is your destination." Accompanied by this dignified proclamation, World Tree emitted radiant light that enveloped all of Beast Abyss. The entity within Beast Abyss continued roaring defiantly, "Let me out!" Its cries grew weaker with each attempt as Beast Abyss ceased trembling entirely under World Tree Emperor's suppression. Ultimately, the entity failed to escape and silence returned once more. World Tree Emperor's power was awe-inspiring, subduing all of Beast Abyss single-handedly. Minutes later, Beast Abyss stabilized and World Tree disappeared from view. Little Python marveled aloud, what could be inside Beast Abyss? Lin Moyu didn't answer, instead gazing thoughtfully ahead. Earlier, World Tree Emperor had mentioned the real world, and the entity within Beast Abyss had demanded release. This exchange suggested that the entity originally belonged to Soul Void but entered Beast Abyss and now sought to return. However, World Tree Emperor denied its request, instead urging it toward the real world. From their brief dialogue, Lin Moyu deduced the general situation not necessarily accurate but close enough. One thing became clear: the entity in Beast Abyss wasn't a virtual beast. Even first-tier innate soul virtual beasts would obediently queue for reincarnation upon entering Beast Abyss with no exceptions. Similarly, even small spirit domain kings lacked such capabilities. The only beings capable of retaining consciousness within Beast Abyss and attempting escape were emperors. Lin Moyu speculated that this entity was likely a former emperor who entered Beast Abyss, and possibly the previous World Tree Emperor himself. Regretful, it sought return but was blocked by its successor. World Tree Emperor's decision made sense: a second emperor in World Tree Great Spirit Domain would undoubtedly cause problems. Recognizing this as an emperor-level conflict, Lin Moyu resolved to stay far away from such matters. After taking a lengthy detour around Beast Abyss, they finally exited World Tree Great Spirit Domain and entered a vacuum zone. Adjusting his direction based on his connection with his physical body, Lin Moyu set course for Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. As World Tree Great Spirit Domain faded into the distance, Little Python relaxed visibly. "Finally, we're heading home." Lin Moyu chuckled. "You miss home too?" Little Python grinned. "Even though I'm just a virtual beast, I'm still part of Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. Of course I miss home." Smiling wistfully, Lin Moyu murmured, "Yes, we all miss home." Thinking of his wives, he sighed softly, "Do you miss home too?" Confused by his sudden sentimentality, Little Python asked hesitantly, "Master, is something wrong?" Shaking his head gently, Lin Moyu replied, "Nothing, I was just reminiscing." Suddenly his expression changed sharply and he shouted urgently, "Stop!" Little Python halted immediately as Lin Moyu stared intently ahead. Amidst dazzling great Tao energy, a faint glimmer appeared in his line of sight. Activating Undead Eye revealed more detail. It was a soul fragment floating thousands of miles ahead. If they hadn't stopped, they would have collided directly with it. Despite being just a fragment, it exuded immense power that unnerved Lin Moyu. Little Python saw nothing in its view. The path ahead was pitch black and empty. Patting Little Python reassuringly, Lin Moyu released a divine rune and instructed softly, "Go inside." Though uncertain about what was happening, Little Python obediently entered the rune space. It trusted Lin Moyu implicitly. Securing Little Python safely away, Lin Moyu summoned Space Dao Spirit before cautiously approaching closer and stopped 1,000 miles away from the fragment. Bowing respectfully toward it from afar, he asked humbly, "Senior, is there something you require? ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3799, 3799. Chapter 3799, The Residual Soul of an Emperor. Trouble. Though the soul fragment before Lin Moyu was small, its mere presence was enough to unsettle him. It wasn't its strength that was intimidating, it was the level of the soul itself. Lin Moyu instinctively understood that if this entity wanted to kill him, it might not succeed outright, but the consequences would be dire. This soul fragment belonged to a higher tier one Lin Moyu had encountered before in figures like human sovereign and emperors. Lin Moyu quickly deduced the soul's identity. It was likely the entity suppressed in Beast Abyss, possibly the previous World Tree Emperor. Though imprisoned, it had managed to escape with a fragment of its soul. How it achieved this didn't matter. What mattered was that it had come to him. The soul swayed in the void, affecting nearby Great Tao energy and altering its flow. "I need you to do something for me," it said directly. Lin Moyu replied cautiously, "Please tell me, Senior. If it's within my abilities, I'll certainly assist." "I want you to kill human sovereign," the soul declared bluntly. Lin Moyu's expression twitched as his own soul seemed to distort involuntarily. "Senior must be joking. My strength is worlds apart from human sovereigns." The soul continued, "Not now, but in the future. I will teach you how to kill human sovereign." Lin Moyu's thoughts raced. Was there truly a method to kill human sovereign? In his understanding, there was only one way to surpass human sovereign in strength. But human sovereign had already become the master of destruction, Great Tao, and entered returning origin land, achieving eternal immortality. Unless returning origin land itself collapsed, human sovereign couldn't die. But such an event would likely annihilate all existence, leaving no survivors. "Do you agree?" the soul pressed. Instead of refusing outright, Lin Moyu asked, "Why did Senior choose me?" He already had some guesses but wasn't entirely certain. "Because you are not from World Tree Great Spirit Domain," it replied simply. This reason aligned with Lin Moyu's suspicions. Among those who witnessed Beast Abyss's turmoil, he alone wasn't tied to World Tree Great Spirit Domain. Clearly, the entity didn't trust anyone from that domain. Even Wood Slaughter Realm Master's Leaf couldn't deceive such a being. Not wanting to provoke conflict immediately, Lin Moyu responded diplomatically, "Then please share your method with me, Senior. If an opportunity arises in the future, I'll help fulfill your request." He intended to learn the method first. Whether he'd use it was a question for another time. After all, he had no enmity with human sovereign. Why would he kill him? Still, if circumstances forced him into conflict with human sovereign someday, this method might prove useful. "You're probably thinking that human sovereign is eternal, and unless this world collapses, he won't die," the soul remarked knowingly. "In the past that may have been true. But now things are different. Human sovereign is no longer truly eternal. You have a chance to kill him. However, to ensure your commitment, I need you to swear an oath on the Great Tao." With a wave of its hand, the soul condensed a glowing orb surrounded by Great Tao energy. "Swear upon this," it commanded. "If you violate your oath, you will face punishment from the Great Tao itself and perish." Lin Moyu frowned deeply. This demand felt less like a request and more like an order. Despite needing his help, the entity acted domineeringly, forcing him into submission. It had been a long time since anyone spoke to Lin Moyu like this. Not even Discernment Beast or Redstone Emperor treated him this way. This was merely a residual soul of an emperor, and yet it dared act so arrogantly. Anger stirred within Lin Moyu, but he maintained composure and replied politely, "Swearing an oath isn't necessary, Senior. If you don't trust me, you can find someone else. I won't be involved." Turning away, he prepared to leave. "Stop," the soul roared angrily. Lin Moyu paused and turned back calmly. "Is there something else?" Though he preferred avoiding confrontation, he wouldn't shy away if forced into battle. "If you refuse, I'll erase your consciousness," it threatened coldly. Lin Moyu understood immediately. "You mean to possess me?" "No, not possession," it clarified. "I'll turn you into a puppet to serve my will." Sighing softly, Lin Moyu replied, "If Senior truly intends this, I'll have no choice but to resist. My strength may be insignificant, but I can make things difficult for you." After escaping Beast Abyss with just a fragment of your soul, it would be a pity for you to lose it here. Even at this stage, Lin Moyu hoped to avoid conflict, but he knew emperors possessed countless tricks even as residual souls. With your power you're no match for me. The soul sneered disdainfully. Suddenly a familiar wind began stirring. Lin Moyu froze. The wind was unmistakable. It was Annihilation Wind, a force he had encountered several times before in Beast Abyss and during tribulations. Capable of instantly killing skeletal generals, it could easily end his life too. Realizing there was no avoiding battle, Lin Moyu shouted decisively, "Attack!" Space Dao Spirit cried out cheerfully, "Space Cut!" The spirit sliced through dimensions, creating massive rifts that absorbed all incoming Annihilation Wind, preventing any harm to Lin Moyu. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Moyu unleashed World-Burning Fire, engulfing the soul fragment in a sea of flames. Against souls, World-Burning Fire proved highly effective even against Emperor-level fragments. The residual soul groaned audibly. "What is this? A fire that can destroy you?" Lin Moyu retorted coldly. Releasing Void Fusion, Divine Rune summoned 5 Elements Giant into Soul Void with prison formation activated, spreading countless threads across space. Simultaneously, Sword Dao Spirit transformed into a massive sword wielded by 5 Elements Giant. Sword light tore through space as 5 Elements Giant launched relentless attacks against the residual soul. The residual soul screamed in panic, "Sword Great Dao True Body! Impossible! How are you wielding Sword Great Dao?" Recognizing Sword Dao Spirit's power, it realized Lin Moyu wasn't using its full potential but merely treating it as a weapon, a wasteful approach. Yet there was no time for reflection as 5 Elements Giant continued its barrage. Sword strikes battered the residual soul relentlessly, but its faint glow transformed into armor that deflected most attacks. After several exchanges, the residual soul assessed 5 Elements Giant's limitations. Though wielding Sword Great Dao True Body, it failed to harness its full power, utilizing less than 1% of its potential, a crude method at best. What a waste to use Sword Great Dao like this! It muttered disdainfully before dissipating into mist and reappearing directly before Lin Moyu. Just as it prepared another strike, a sudden blaze erupted around it. Shrieking in agony, the residual soul retreated hastily as invisible flames burned fiercely upon its essence. These spectral flames differed from world-burning fire but were equally terrifying. They targeted true spirits directly. True Fire Dao Spirit appeared on Lin Moyu's shoulder, its delicate face glaring coldly at the residual soul. Suddenly the heavens trembled and thunder roared violently as tribulation descended upon them. The 3 elemental liches groaned simultaneously as heaven punished them for attacking beings above Dao Lord level. ko-fi.com/translate-toki. Only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3800. 3800. Chapter 3800. Who are you? As the great Dao tribulation descended, Space Dao Spirit waved its small hand and instantly appeared beside the residual soul. Space Prison. The space fragmented into millions of cubic regions, each spanning a kilometer, forming interconnected prisons. Even if one prison was breached, the residual soul would simply enter another, trapping it completely. True Fire Dao Spirit and Sword Dao Spirit joined Space Dao Spirit, working in unison. Sword Dao Spirit transformed into Sword Light and slashed forward, while Space Dao Spirit opened a spatial channel for the Sword Light to strike directly at the residual soul. A scream echoed. The power of this strike far exceeded that of 5 Elements Giant's earlier attack. Under this blow, the residual soul was severely injured, its aura greatly weakened. This was the true might of Sword Great Dao's essence. If the residual soul had been merely a Dao Lord, this strike would have obliterated it instantly. Meanwhile, the ethereal flames of true fire continued burning it as Lin Moyu unleashed world-burning fire, transforming it into a fire dragon that surged forward. Space Dao Spirit opened another channel, flooding the residual soul's space with flames. Then Space Dao Spirit waved its hand again. Cut. Within the prison, countless fine cracks appeared like countless sharp blades slicing through the residual soul, eliciting constant screams. After a brief build-up, the great Dao tribulation finally struck. Bolts of tribulation lightning rained down relentlessly. The lightning not only targeted the elemental liches but also bombarded the residual soul trapped within space prison. Because of their proximity, the heavens deemed them allies and punished them together. Lin Moyu had already retreated far from the tribulation's range. World-burning fire, true fire Great Dao, sword Great Dao, space Great Dao and now tribulation lightning all raged simultaneously in a chaotic and terrifying spectacle. Lin Moyu watched with concern and muttered, Did you really think I'd only use Sword Great Dao as a weapon? What an idiot. Using Sword Great Dao this way was indeed wasteful, but Lin Moyu had no choice. If he allowed his elemental liches to unleash their full power, it would provoke an even harsher tribulation. Whether they could survive such punishment was uncertain. After witnessing Sword Great Dao's direct attack fail to harm the residual soul significantly, Lin Moyu realized he had no alternative. He not only commanded his elemental liches to attack with full force but also lured the residual soul into the tribulation's range to face judgment together. The elemental liches were fearless. They didn't care about death or tribulations. As long as Lin Moyu commanded them, they obeyed without hesitation. The thunder roared endlessly, and Lin Moyu noticed that this round of lightning was far stronger than what had occurred during his earlier summoning of elemental liches. These bolts carried pure destruction not as tests but as genuine punishment. Under such conditions, a typical Dao Lord would be reduced to ashes in a single strike. The residual soul screamed continuously, its aura growing weaker by the moment. This entity, likely the previous World Tree Emperor, had painstakingly escaped Beast Abyss with a fragment of its soul only to choose the wrong target and lose everything. Who knew when or if it would have another chance to escape again? The elemental liches endured the tribulation silently, their small bodies riddled with wounds which made Lin Moyu increasingly anxious. Though some spells claimed that elemental liches couldn't truly die, that they could revive after death, Lin Moyu knew there were limits to everything. Even immortality depended on avoiding accidents, and facing heaven's wrath was no ordinary accident. If they perished under this tribulation, their revival wasn't guaranteed. Lin Moyu regretted having to involve them, but he had no choice. If all three elemental liches died, he could still recreate True Fire Dao Spirit and Space Dao Spirit using available materials. But Sword Dao Spirit would be lost forever. He could only hope for luck. Lingering flowers were prepared in advance. As long as they retained even a sliver of life after the tribulation, they could be healed. Meanwhile, the residual soul's screams grew weaker and its injuries worsened until it nearly dissipated entirely. Desperate, it finally begged for mercy. "Friend, I was wrong. Spare my remnant soul, I'll leave and never trouble you again." "Don't you find your words laughable?" Lin Moyu replied mockingly. At this stage it dared plead for mercy. What a joke. After all he had sacrificed, it thought he'd relent. Realizing begging was futile, the residual soul roared angrily, "Just wait. If I escape, I'll kill you." Lin Moyu sneered coldly. "Then let's talk after you escape." The tribulation lightning continued striking relentlessly, and eventually the residual soul vanished under repeated attacks. Even as a mere fragment, it far surpassed typical Dao Lords, even stronger than Wood Slaughter Realm Master. But ultimately it was still just a remnant, and its abilities were limited. Its reliance on Annihilation Wind proved insufficient against Lin Moyu's relentless assault. In truth, Lin Moyu hadn't given it any opportunity to deploy other techniques, trapping and killing it swiftly instead. As its remnants dissipated, a soul crystal appeared where it had been. This crystal differed from those Lin Moyu had obtained before. It was more refined and faintly exuded sentience amidst its lifeless state. Is this because its soul belonged to a higher tier? Lin Moyu wondered aloud. Indeed, the crystal reflected its superior level, even altering its properties compared to ordinary ones. With the tribulation still raging, Lin Moyu couldn't retrieve it immediately and waited patiently instead. The three elemental liches curled up under continuous lightning strikes, their small bodies trembling pitifully amidst countless wounds. Watching them suffer broke Lin Moyu's heart, but there was nothing he could do. Tribulations rendered all techniques useless. Even Space Dao Spirit couldn't shield itself with Space Great Dao. The lightning ignored spatial barriers entirely, locking onto them directly. Even passive spells were nullified by Heaven's wrath, which fortunately spared Lin Moyu's undead army from collateral damage. The elemental liches' bodies grew increasingly fragile under relentless punishment, on the verge of collapse. Each thunderclap felt like it struck Lin Moyu himself, causing him unbearable anguish. Every second felt like an eternity. Finally, after 10 agonizing minutes, the tribulation ended and silence returned. The three elemental liches floated weakly in soul void, their forms broken and indistinct, their fates uncertain. Immediately flying over, Lin Moyu released 3 lingering flowers which enveloped them gently in healing light. As long as they hadn't completely dissipated, the flowers offered hope for recovery. With a wave of his hand, the crystal formed from the residual soul flew into his grasp. Unlike ordinary crystals, it brimmed with sentience, resembling living materials more than inert ones. Feeling its energy closely, Lin Moyu's eyes gleamed brightly with realization. This sentience contained memories, the remnants of an emperor-level being preserved within its essence despite being crystallized. Commanding 5 elements giant to stand guard and activating 1,000 paths and myriad images formation for added security, Lin Moyu began absorbing the crystal. Let me see who you really are. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a